Oh, Mr. Jacob, hello. How you doing? Oh, hello. Long time no see. How you doing?
Bro, what is the prompt?
Because you took 5,000 years to make it.
I didn't even make it, bro. Oh, see? Exactly. Bro, are you gonna invite him here, bro?
I mean, if he wants to join.
Bro, you can't make a prompt about somebody and not invite him.
Okay, I'll do that. I'm waiting for my phone to charge. You guys know even know what it is?
No, what is it?
Oh, he can say it for himself. I did
Well,
invite him.
cool. Invite him then. Invite him.
I did. It's pragmatic view if it actually is ending it.
Bro, this is crazy, actually.
I can see why it stopped playing.
Hi, Elizabeth.
Hello.
Hey. For some reason, it doesn't say she's loaded in for me.
Yeah, my screen I just see like a blank space.
Everything is blank.
Yeah.
I guess I'll send you a heart me.
Who, me? What's that?
Bro, what do you mean? A heart me? Is your thingy on the,
What
like
does it
your little,
like do?
your fan club thing or whatever?
What does it like do?
I don't know. It lets us use your cool stickers and stuff.
Oh, I didn't know that. I wouldn't exactly call them cool.
Yeah, me neither. Sorry. Shouldn't have called him cool.
Yeah, Rose made them. I think it was Rose made them or Holly made them, so they get the blame for that.
Oh, goodness.
My prompt maker is taking like 8,000 years to make new prompts. So
No, but you know what? My stickers for my heart me stuff is they're pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I'm sure they are. I'm sure they are. And I'm actually a talking kangaroo too.
Well, it looks like you're an ostrich in your profile picture.
Oh, actually, yeah, I am.
I probably change that profile picture to a talking kangaroo.
I did actually. I think I did. I actually do have a kangaroo profile actually.
Is it one of your alt accounts?
No, it's my main account. I just have a talking. Yeah, yeah. Oh my goodness, my PS4 sounds like it's overheating.
Wait, I don't know if I can talk you out of ice cream post. That's bad. I can't do that, bro. I love ice cream any time of the day.
It depends on the type of ice cream. If it's butter pecan, yeah, I can't talk you out of it. If it's vanilla, then yeah, I can talk you out of it.
Pecan instead of pecan?
Tomato, tomato, potato, potato, same thing.
No, no. I do not accept that.
Oh, the mermaid crash out's coming up.
Okay, if it's cookie dough, you have to eat it, bro. That's my favorite kind.
If it's mint chocolate chip, you have to eat it, I would say. I think I should do a tier maker of ice cream flavors.
Yeah, you should. That should be your prompt.
I had a few other prompt ideas, but oh, chicken is here. Yeah. I mean, you can still make it. I would very much appreciate if you could make it.
No, you know what's funny? He asked me to make it too, and I said no.
You said you could make it.
No, I said I wasn't going to make this one.
The reason why I asked you is because someone was taking too long to make it.
No, Protect, can I show everybody my new prompt that I'm thinking about using that I showed you earlier?
Yeah, you should. What's gonna
Okay,
be
hold on.
at least $3 on Venmo before.
Bro, I don't even have $3, bro, for real. Hold on. I can't believe somebody would do this. There it is. Okay.
I don't see anything. I just see a blank screen.
All right, make me big. You got to make me big though. I think it'll show.
And she said,
It's very out of focus. Okay, it's better.
Do you like that one or no?
Yeah.
Do you see it? Is it clear?
I think she's dead.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Does everybody like this one?
I give it a solid 8 out of 10. Now I don't know how to switch
Okay,
screens.
cool.
I've been so away from this for so long. I don't even know how to change screens now. I don't know what comprehensive to Discord people means. I don't know what that means, but I just wanted to address what Mr. Genesis said on his view, on his pragmatic stance. I don't know how to make my screen bigger now.
I don't know. My mod's not working.
Maybe that's because you're not actually a mod.
What? Hold on, let me look.
Genesis is this person, this pro-life supposed this Orthodox Christian who thinks it should be legal pragmatically.
Dude, Protect, you need to make me full mod. It's not giving me any of the
I
powers to
gave you
shrink
all
or
the
anything.
powers. I gave you all the powers.
Well, let me drop real quick. Hold on. I'm gonna come back up.
I had to unmod some people because for reasons, but now everybody's got them back. For mysterious reasons, I'll leave it at that. For again, mysterious reasons.
Okay, let me check. Nope, still don't have them.
I gave them to you.
That's weird.
I'm waiting for
I don't know. Maybe it'll work for next time.
Yeah. So, yeah. I don't see how his view is really ending it pragmatically.
Why don't we ask Whiskey? Whiskey, what do you think?
Well, here's the thing about Mr. our friend. He does believe it. This is not like a troll kind of thing. His stance is pragmatically to end it, you have to improve society, basically. And criminalization is not the way. And outlawing it, generally speaking. That is his stance. You can actually watch the debates on my YouTube channel to know his stance in depth. The opening before you know what happened. Well, I'm not gonna say it, but we know what happened afterwards. I'm just not gonna say it.
So basically he's pragmatically pro-choice, right? And he's orthodox inquiring. So just let that sink in a little bit.
Well, he said from it doesn't violate his religion. Okay. Well, I'll just leave it
That's a
at that.
lie.
Yeah, it's
That's actually
pragmatic.
a lie.
Yeah. But the real question is how is the strategy actually ending it?
Yeah, I would say it's not. So I would say it looks really bad for the Orthodox Church, really.
He did get a blessing from his, I believe, his pastor or priest or whatever. But so
I think they do priests over there. Yeah.
yeah, that's what I meant. But yeah, we're just addressing this stance, and I've always had problems with it. I would say if a certain somebody, we're not going to say his name, didn't crash out, I think he would have won. Because I don't think that the stance is too good. I don't see how it's mutually exclusive. That's how I would answer.
Yeah, it's just kind of weird.
I had another prompt. I'm not going to say it because it might stir the pot.
Oh no, what is it?
Rose knows it. This was
I'm
actually
scared.
it was actually addressing what happened. Is it okay for someone to do something? I'll just leave it at that.
Oh geez.
Don't worry, I didn't make any AI videos based on it. I'm not gonna say it.
Oh no.
I hear I'm very unliked around these parts, so yeah, I'm on the restrict behavior.
Dude, join the club.
Yeah, unjustly, I didn't do anything. I'm just doing my own business. I'm just a young spring free chicken, and then people did me dirty.
What? Yeah, I think it's because you stir the pot. Protect. So.
No, I'm not doing anything. I'm just giving my opinion, and yeah. I actually had a I'm not an instigator. Uh-oh.
Oh no, great.
I'm not an instigator.
All right, he's here, so I invited him up.
Because you run this all working. We had no this is the newest prompt. We had to use it. I didn't know you were working.
I'm just here to moderate, okay? I'm not I told him not to do it, but you know.
I didn't see what the problem was doing it.
But it does like for my opinion though, it does look bad for the Orthodox Church, so
I'm just
I'll just
curious.
I'll leave that there.
I'm just curious on how it is ending it. That's this is an abortion one, Rose. What are you talking about? Oh. Uh oh, okay.
Oh, geez, you should definitely want to get right with God then, Genesis. I mean, you see death on a daily basis.
Well, Elizabeth, well, normatively he agrees that it's wrong. It's just the strategy of ending it. I disagree strongly.
What's the strategy?
By not to straw man his position, but to improve society. Is that correct, Mr. Genesis? Like make it easier to raise children. Kells is in here. Kells for Life is a very, very notified, noticed crash out. Almost every single encounter I have of Kells, it's Crash Out City. And she left. But yeah, my problem with this view is, again, as I said multiple times, why is it mutually exclusive, or how is it mutually exclusive? How? You could do both and criminalize it at the same time.
What's
Are
his
there two?
plan
Oh,
for? Go ahead.
go ahead.
I was just saying. Well, I guess I don't know if y'all would know, but what's his plan for fixing the world? I guess to make it better.
I guess you're referring specifically to our country. Maybe like federal paid maternity leave, longer, make it longer. That's one thing, probably you would say. Make it federal instead of like private organizations, right? Make it federal, like crisis pregnancy resources, right? Well, instead of private organizations, it can be federal, federally funded, basically. The federal government should do it.
Well, I think that would be a good idea, and then they could get some more doctors and nurses involved in those centers. And get more money involved for like more giving activities.
So, how do you solve the social issue though?
What do you mean?
Like a revenge abortion. That would be a social issue. That's a mindset. So, how do you fix that part?
Well, my question was, how is going to get rid of abortion rights? Like, what about the wealthy people who, well, they don't need money, so they're just going to continue to have abortions, basically.
Is that a social issue?
Yeah.
So does this Genesis person have a plan for that?
Well, let us see. R&J is here. Long time no see.
What's up?
The one and only Out of Pocket.
Truly.
Yeah.
Certified. Put a stamp on it.
Yeah. How have you been?
Perfect.
Yeah.
What?
Just absolutely flawless. Without flaws. The daughter of the one true king. So, doesn't really get any better.
I would not call myself perfect. Oh no.
I'm perfect. So, that sounds like a
What
personal
define
problem.
perfect? Define it. What does that mean?
Lacking a flaw.
And what is flaw?
Disruption.
Oh my goodness. The only person that is perfect is Jesus Christ.
Well, currently, yeah. But I'm perfect.
Wait.
I'm not saying
there
I'm
cannot
not
be
saying that I'm like Jesus. I'm saying that how have I been? I've been perfect.
I don't know.
A princess, if you will. What's this background protect? What does it mean? What does it mean?
Oh yeah, he can explain that.
Can you
That's
write your name on
pretty.
the top?
That's pretty interesting, really. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna say it. Genesis. He is Orthodox inquiring, and he is pragmatically pro-choice.
Oh, Genesis and Theo or Theocracy or something like that.
No, Genesis debates. He's in here. He's in the.
But Genesis, it's Genesis and somebody else is running it too. It's Theonomist or
Oh,
Theo something.
I don't know. I just know of Genesis. I don't know the other guy.
Oh no, yeah, they pissed me off about it. I don't think I'm good to face off with them right now unless they want to really go into it. Okay, right. It says use your own words to describe what it is used for.
Protect. You have to come back, bro. It's gonna be bad. We're probably gonna end if you don't come back soon. R and J, didn't we used to follow each other? Do I follow you on my other account? Hello, Kev. How are you?
What is the deal? Don't invite me into a live and then not be here, Protect. What is happening?
Dude, I know. I don't know why
This is like
he's
inviting someone to your house and then leaving, and then they show up and you're gone. I thought we were gonna be debating, and it's confusing. This is
Protect. What the
gaslighting,
heck?
really.
What happened?
Bro, you invited out of pocket and she's trying to ask you questions.
Oh, sorry, I had a phone call.
What does the background mean?
It was Genesis's stance on abortion.
So not Genesis, the book in the Bible. You mean Genesis, the creator?
Genesis, the guy.
The Genesis debates, a TikTok
Yes.
personality, not
Yeah,
Genesis.
him.
I thought you meant the book of Genesis. I was like, what is
No.
happening?
Obviously, Genesis debates.
To yell at me. Good gosh.
I know. I'm just kidding. I'm not yelling. Hello, the real.
What's up?
Hi, the real.
What's up, out of pocket? Are you in
How you
pocket?
doing, man? I'm pretty out of pocket these days.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I think Connor's her self perfect was kind of out of pocket earlier. So
Is
You think
Genesis
Mermaid's jealous?
pragmatic
What's going
stance on
on?
abortion actually ending abortion? No, I don't even know his pragmatic stance.
dude, I stay jealous for real. Well, anyways, would you say, Kev?
Wait, the real. You haven't heard Genesis's stance
I thought he
Yeah.
was pro-life.
that we should be compassionate about women who want to unalive their children, and we shouldn't force them to carry, and instead we should like treat them, quote unquote, obviously, like Jesus would, even though Jesus whipped people
Jesus
and
condemned, didn't,
flipped tables and yeah, exactly.
yeah, come
It's
on,
fucking
dude.
moronic.
Yeah, I mean, what's his stance though? Is it just like, we need to allow, what kind of abortions are we allowing?
He would be allowing all of them and then just
All of
leading with
them?
education and compassion to try to get them to
Education?
stop. Yeah.
I
They
don't know,
just need to be
man.
educated.
In America, we live in a very educated society where we know that, like, you know, when there's a thing called a man or a boy and a woman, right, and they engage in some physical activity with the foreseeability of, like, you know, possibly children, bro.
Protect. Somebody wants up. You have to come back.
But I don't know. I thought he was pro-life with just exception of the mother, but I guess he changed his stance.
Come back, bro.
But no, I don't think his stance is gonna end abortion. I don't think like a lot of people's stances are gonna end abortion. Honestly, it's gonna be this. It's gonna be a constant battle. Yeah, I run causal. Yeah, I'm not a Phil bro. So I would say for most things, yeah, you kind of are obligated. You know, if I murder someone, I'm obligated to face the consequences of doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're like basically saying that, like, oh, they just don't know what they're doing. And if you were in their shoes, you'd probably do the same. So you would want
I don't know.
compassion. I'm
I
like, you
have my.
cannot fucking catch me.
I got
Catch
my.
me wanting to kill my own child. It couldn't be me. So no. I have like
I would
empathy for
say
people who
though.
are scared to become parents. It's obviously like a lot of responsibility. But like, buy a book, Parenting for Dummies, on Amazon and get the fuck over it. I don't know what to tell you.
I would say like most of society does kind of run causal though. Like when you murder someone, you like go to jail. But I guess you're gonna say like causal in another sense of like some other way. Which I mean, you can be unalive for murdering someone.
Well, my issue with causal is like it kind of lowers the threshold for neglect.
Yeah.
Because if you didn't cause, like, if a child shows up, I have a very big property. Okay. If a child's at my front door, they are on my property for like it would take them probably an hour to get off my property if they knew where they were going. Like, if they were walking as like a toddler, right? So are you saying do I have a responsibility to like bring them inside out of the heat and make sure they get some water and then call somebody to come get them, or put them in my car and drive them somewhere?
I
Or,
would.
you know what I mean? Like, you would
Yeah.
say that
You
even
didn't
though I
cause
didn't
it.
cause
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
child to appear on my property, I can't be like, oh, well, get the fuck off or I'm going to pew pew in the back of the head. Like,
No. Yeah. Like.
I
Exactly.
No,
don't
no,
know.
no, no, no. But like then again, I just think we have different kind of obligations. Like I would say that's like a proximal obligation. Like if anyone saw like a child in the woods, like the right thing to do is to lead them back to safety, not let the elements unalive the child. Right.
Yeah, but what obligation would you
With
even
knowing that
have?
like your life isn't in danger. Right. I would say that like let's say there's a child drowning in a pool or something like that, but there's a shark in there. I wouldn't expect you to risk your life to save the child. It'd be unfortunate.
You just have
No,
to ground
risk your life, maybe. Like, I understand that, but we're not talking about that in, you know, most
the person running
abortions.
calls could just run
At least
the
at the point at which abortions are happening, the pregnancy is generally safe and the woman is healthy and the baby's healthy.
the
Granted, if more pregnancies went full term, those statistics would probably change. But at the rate at which the actual abortion is taking place, these are viable pregnancies and healthy women and healthy babies. So, but a lot can go wrong in the third trimester. Like, I'll be honest, I'm one of them. Perfect pregnancies up until I went into labor. So, but I wasn't going to have an abortion. I was just going to get the baby out.
the
Hence
person
the
running calls could
C-sections.
just the person running calls can just run the the principle of least the proportional argument. So just proportional harm to the effects of what you need to exceed whatever rights violation you're having. You wouldn't
I
have to blow up
understand
the
that,
physical.
but I get that. But what if like a child's on my property and we're going into a 40-week long snowstorm?
I
Like,
just need. I just. I don't think. Yeah.
am I
I
going to
don't.
take care of them for 40 weeks, or can I be like,
I
oh, that's just too long, honey?
no. I just don't see
Better
an
luck,
obligation.
best of luck out in the elements. Like,
I don't. You'd have to ground an argument to take care
no,
of it.
I'm asking you a question.
Oh yeah. I don't.
What's the time frame then?
I don't. There is no time frame. What are you talking about?
So if I open my front door right now and there's a toddler on my property,
Mm-hmm.
what would Art say I should be responsible or obligated to do in that case?
Nothing.
Just nothing. So
What's the obligation?
knowing my property has deer that are very aggressive, like male deer that are very aggressive, knowing that it has hawks, knowing that it has bobcats, knowing that it has
By the
coyotes,
way,
knowing that it has mountain
should
lions.
and obligated are different things. By the way, so you're
Well,
asking what you're obligated to,
I'm
or what you should
asking
do.
you, what would you say if if Pocket doesn't do these things? Pocket should go to jail if this baby gets harmed. Like Pocket is
No.
responsible now for this child.
Nah, however, yeah, you should. You wait again. Should and obligated are different. I think there's any
I'm
obligation for you to have the
asking
child.
you.
One set. I know that should and obligated are different. So I'm about to answer in both cases. You should make sure that child gets back to safety. Right. It'd be very virtuous of you to do. We should actually push you to do it. And you can talk about some extrinsic harms that might ground some fucking legally binding obligation to be like, you caused unnecessary due harm to this child or something like that. But in a principle sense, there's no obligation there.
No, okay. So I guess my question for you is what actions would you say should have to be taken else I face like legal punishment or
I just answered
some
that.
kind of
I just answered that.
No, I'm asking specifically.
I just answered that.
Okay, I don't remember the specifics. Can you remind me?
Yeah, there is no obligation.
Okay, so if children just wander onto somebody's property.
Yeah. The default will be on the parent or whoever was responsible for that child. Not you.
Well, I'm not saying you're responsible for them coming onto your property, but I would say you're responsible for getting them off safely.
I don't know where would that. Yeah, that's a problem. Where is that coming from? Where's the obligation come from?
I mean, where is it coming from? Just, I mean, I guess like in like the most like basic of terms, it's that this kid might not be able to do it by themselves.
Yeah, it's fine. Tons of people can't do a ton of things by themselves, but we don't say that there's obligations.
I don't care about people. I care about children. Obviously, if it's an adult,
that's just special.
Obviously, if it's an adult, you can say, "Hey, you're trespassing. You have 15 minutes to get off my property.
What's the
You better start
difference?
running."
What's the principal difference between a child who can't do something and an adult who can't do something?
I would just say like the capacity for garnering proper resources to take care of themselves.
No, they principally they're principally equal in that respect. That's the difference.
You're saying like if we have an adult who is functionally a child, though?
No. An adult who's rationally an adult, they just can't do anything for themselves.
Sorry, say that last part again.
Let's say that somebody dropped a paraplegic on your doorstep, right? Right.
Yeah.
They can't do anything. They're rationally an adult. They understand things. If you tell them to get off, they understand and they would want to get off. They just can't. It doesn't seem that. I don't think you're obligated to that
I would
person.
just say the difference would be like if a child is, let's say a child comes who has like barely any words, right? You can't be like, "Hey, what's your mom's phone number? Hey, where do you live? Hey, where does your mom work?" Right? Whereas if a paraplegic shows up, you could at the very least be like, "Do you want me to call somebody to come get you?
Yeah, but
Do you want me to call an Uber for you?" My thing is that you can't
between the obligation. What's the principal difference?
Okay, Art, but we're talking about the right to unalive them otherwise.
Yeah,
do you understand?
In no case do you have the right to unalive the child when they're on your property.
I know that, but that's a pro-life argument. That leads to a pro-life conclusion.
No. Firstly, it leads to an irrational conclusion because you're not giving any grounding for it. So if what you mean by is this pro-life argument is irrational, then yeah, I agree.
I would say that a society that does not take care of their children and is not taking care of their children is going to cease to be a society. So that's at the very least, if we want to have a society that continues to grow and function, it is incumbent that we take care of the babies in society for a certain amount of time. Babies cannot crawl to milk by themselves. That's need compatible with the pro-choice
view.
How?
Yeah, because I agree with you that babies, and obviously I'm just going to we're using babies in two different senses. Babies should be protected, sure. That doesn't mean that we have to protect babies in every case.
Say that first part again.
Babies should be protected. That's fine. That's a cool like prima facie principle that most people can accept, but that does not mean in every case are you obligated to children. That's false. Unless you give some rational reason. Unless you give some rational reasons for such.
Unless you give me a reason that you wouldn't be.
That's not how that works.
Yes, because that is
a literal burden shift.
No. I mean, I'm not necessarily saying that I have the answer that would ground the obligation, if you would. Well, just because I don't have the answer doesn't make it irrational. It means I don't have the answer. It makes
it irrational for you to believe.
It does not make it irrational for me to believe.
Yeah, you have no reasons to support it.
I believe that if society does not and doesn't have to take care of children, society will cease to exist because children need. Hey, Art, I'm still talking.
Uh-huh.
If we tell, no, I'm asking you a question. If we stop feeding babies from the breast or from bottles and nobody feeds them, what is going to happen?
Can I ask the relevance of this question prior to answering
I'm
it?
asking if you understand that society would cease to exist. If we don't take care of children, children die, adults don't reproduce,
No.
adults die, right, when they get
Are
older,
you just saying?
and then
I'm asking.
society doesn't exist anymore.
But prior to me answering the question, I is it fine to ask the relevance of the question?
Yeah, the relevance is to see if you understand what the messaging I'm trying to get across.
Oh, if all you're asking is that, well, it seems like there's some baked in principle about society persisting being good, which I don't grant. But
No. I'm not making a claim
but
society
yeah, one
existing is
second.
good
Hey, I
or
was answering your
bad.
question. Hey,
Making the claim that
I'm answering your
society
question.
just
I'm
simply ceases to
answering your
exist
question.
if kids don't get taken care of.
No,
Period.
that doesn't follow. You have to add other
How does
stipulations
that not follow?
because it's
What?
obviously possible that kids don't get taken care of in all cases, right? And society continues to persist, like now,
Okay, like how?
like now. Not all kids are taken care
Okay,
of.
and no, not in all cases. I'm saying in all cases, children do
Oh,
not get taken care of. Explain to me how society persists beyond that.
that's we're talking about two different claims. But no,
No,
society
I'm
would
asking you.
society.
I'm literally
Hey,
asking you a
society would
question.
not
Tell me how it
persist.
persists if
Society would
nobody
not
takes care of their
persist.
kids.
Society would not persist if we had no reason to allow children to continue and progress.
What do you mean, no reason?
They're not doing it, so they have no reason to do it.
Right. If there's no, like I said, if there's no reason to,
Why your
then
opinion?
society ceases to exist. We agree
Sure,
on
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know what grounds the reason to necessarily, but I know that if we don't do it, society ceases to exist, which seems to
That's a
be a
false. Well,
bad thing
this
for
is
society.
well. Firstly, a bad thing for society. It's non-existence. I don't know. I don't grant that, but. Firstly, that's not the conversation we're having. Secondly, that's not analogous to that's not analogous to the principle that was being tested. And thirdly, right, that my question was never answered, by the way. So just lay it out. So like, obviously, we're not arguing for women, people to stop taking care of children in all cases, right?
But why
That's not
not?
what's being said. Because I have a reason to take care of children in all cases.
Wait, no. What'd you say? You have no reason?
I have no reason. Yeah.
No. Okay. What would be the harm in not taking care of children? Period. I'm not saying in all cases. I'm not saying in
And the
some cases. I'm
harm.
saying, would there be harm to you, in your view, if people just ceased taking care of their children and stopped taking care of children altogether? We all just
Yeah,
said, you
it would
motherfuckers
be.
are on your goddamn selves.
Yeah, it would
Have
be
fun with
harmful to
that.
me. It would be harmful to me because I have siblings who are children. I have friends who have children. I'm sure that would affect their mental states. It would affect my mental states. It would make me feel sad. Yeah, it would be harmful.
Why would it make you feel sad if it's
Because
their right to not have to take care of their children?
I don't think that's a right. What the fuck are you talking about?
You're saying it's a right that we don't let. You're saying we are free to not
I
take
don't know
care
why you
of
keep. I
children.
don't know why you keep conflating this. I said prima. You know, you understand it's not in all cases, right? I don't think all children are morally relevant entities. In the case that they're morally relevant entities, it's going to be harmful. In the case that it's not, it's not. That's how that operates. You're just conflating the cases where they are morally relevant to the ones that they aren't morally relevant.
No,
to the ones
I'm
that they are.
asking you. I'm not. Literally, I'm trying to understand your view because you have a problem and I
You're
don't have an answer for you.
conflating something when you ask this question.
What am I conflating?
I hold of you that there are two different types of children in this scenario. There's morally
What are
relevant
the
children.
types of children? Okay, so
You think
describe
gonna
to me
explain
a
it?
morally irrelevant child.
It's a child that lacks all sufficient criteria to be morally relevant.
Which are what? What are the characteristics? I'm gonna write them down.
There's a sufficient set. One of them is sentience.
So they lack what?
There's a sufficient set, and one of them is sentience.
So they lack sentience.
Yeah.
Okay. Does the child on your property lack sentience?
I don't know.
Well, they were able to walk onto a property and knock on a door. Do you think they lack sentience?
It's probably that they don't. Stop.
It's probably that they don't have sentience or
probable
that
that
they
they
do
don't-
have sentience.
It's probable that they don't lack sentience.
Okay, so they have sentience. So they're a morally relevant child.
Yeah.
Okay, so what obligation would you have to this
Nothing.
child that wandered onto your property?
Only negative obligations.
Only negative obligations.
Yep.
which would be
Negative rights, the right to not affect someone, to not do
okay.
things to this entity.
So the right to ignore them, basically.
I mean, I don't know about ignore, but it's not good to
Well,
ignore them if that's what you're asking.
I'm not asking if it's virtuous. I'm asking what
Oh,
you think humans should be allowed to get away with in society.
should be
As
allowed
simple
to
as
get
that.
away with. I don't know that
Yeah,
means
should we be allowed if a child wanders
in
onto your
some
property and
prag.
knocks on your
Hey,
door? Are you
hey, hey, let me
allowed? Are you
answer. Let me answer. Let me
permitted
answer. Let
to
me answer. Let
ignore
me answer.
them?
Let me answer. Yeah, in some pragmatic sense, no. In a principle sense, yeah.
And what do you mean in a pragmatic sense?
Yeah, as in like we can talk about like legal ramifications, legal aspects of these things, like the harm it would do to society if we were just allowed to like not call the police on things, right? So there may be
Well,
some
what if I don't
punishments.
like the police? What if I don't want them on my property? Why
Well,
am I
then
not allowed to ignore this child?
yeah, because of the dysfunction that it serves to society,
The function what
the
serves?
dysfunction that it serves to society. Yeah, you should have like minimal. There's like minimal things you all do. While these things might not be obligatory, they are like pragmatically pushed. So we can give you like ramifications for not doing it.
Okay, so you would agree. Sorry,
Morally, I don't think you have to. If that's I'm operating two different scopes. Morally, I don't care.
but when you say that, what do you want me to take? Like, what do you want me to do with you saying morally you don't have to?
Yeah, as in like in a moral principle, you don't have to. In a pragmatic sense, there's other reasons to do it. Also, sentience matters to whether or not something's morally relevant. It does not matter whether or not something is you're obligated to something. Because that was the question asked of me. They don't contribute to society. They obviously contribute to society. Yeah. You can say it's legally binding by law. There's obligations that aren't moral that are legal.
I'm just trying to understand if you say pragmatically, yeah, yeah. Okay, go.
I said pragmatically there
You're
could
good.
be, by the way. I didn't say.
No. Okay, what I'm trying to understand is like if you say what grounds the obligation, and I say, you know what, at the end of the day, I think that it's something to do with the fact that if we permit people to not care about children and to say you're morally entitled to your freedoms, and those include ignoring people that you're not responsible for, even
Yeah.
if it's a child drowning in the pool on your property or
That just tells me
about
that you
to
have no
be,
that just tells me you have no good reason for believing in what you're talking about. So that means that what you're saying is irrational.
is society collapsing not a good enough reason to?
I think society collapsing against society's will is a bad thing. But if society collapses of its own will, no, it's not a bad thing.
So okay,
Like if you
so
talk
then
about
you agree.
if all women like were abstinent, like if all women chose abstinence, right? And
No,
then
if
society
all women
collapsed.
straight up ignored
And
their
society
children.
collapse.
No. I'm
And then
saying
so,
if all women
let me
only
finish.
ignored their
Let me
children.
finish. Let me finish. If all women chose abstinence, right, and the society collapsed from that, I think that's fine. If all women neglected their obligations to their children, that's not okay because they're violating the obligation that they priorly had with their children.
But where did that come from?
Causal.
So your things is they lack sentience, but if they have sentience, you also have to have caused them to have sentience.
You have to cause them into. You have to be the cause that put them in a state of dependency.
Okay,
That
so
too.
what if it turns out that the reason this toddler is on my property is because I have a
Then you're obligated.
bridge, right, over a
Uh-huh.
pool of water, but the bridge is broken. So in order to get across the bridge, they had to come onto my property. Now am I causal really
Probably, yeah.
responsible?
Yeah, probably. Did you break the bridge?
No, the bridge is on my property and it broke. I allowed it to break because I don't have a need to fix it.
Well, if it's the case that you neglected some responsibility that you had that then put other people into harm's way, then yeah, you're causally responsible.
Interesting.
That's
And
how
then
causal works.
so if I guess I'm just wondering why that you would be responsible for a toddler on your property if like it wasn't the case with the bridge and they're at your front door. Like why can't I just ignore
I
them?
said there can be some pragmatic reasons. Principally, I think you can ignore that.
That just doesn't make any sense to me. That why you're separating them if you can't ground the pragmatics, then why should they exist? Like why should we
What?
even consider those?
What? Because the world operates outside of principle all the time. So
Yeah,
isn't
but
the
you're just
pragmatic
saying that
cases?
like you're just like appealing to like what the case is currently. I'm asking you if it should remain that way, and if it should remain that way, why?
Oh yeah, I'm agnostic on that. If that's what you're asking.
Wait, I have a
You're right.
question.
After all that, you're agnostic. I hate
Yeah,
you.
no,
What
that's why I kept
what
saying it could be pragmatic reasons. I don't have a pragmatic stance on this.
well, I have a question for Art.
What's the
Art,
question?
if you were walking down the street
Mhm.
and you saw a child wandering around and then somebody like, you know, kidnapped them and they were yelling and screaming, I don't know this person, I don't know this person, right? Would you try to stop that or no?
Yeah, I would try to stop that
Why?
because I'm obligated to that child, presumably.
Why would you be all obligated?
Because
You don't know this child.
I've taken an oath to defend my country from all enemies, foreign and domestic. So I would be obligated to that child. Yeah, I've taken an oath.
Wait, what do you mean you've taken an oath? What does that mean?
Yeah, I've taken an oath to defend
Like,
all.
are you in the military or something?
Yeah.
Or well, that's alarming. Okay.
Well, no,
Well,
not
what if you
necessarily.
weren't?
But
What if
okay,
you
Art,
weren't?
You should hear
would
the
would
motherfuckers
you
What if
outside
you
of.
say?
weren't?
Yeah, what if it was like
Hold
your
on. What if
wife
you?
or like your brother who's not serving? Like, would you say they should
Well,
would be
I think they
like?
should do it in the sense that I think they should do it in the sense that they represent me. So yeah, you shouldn't be a coward little pussy bitch. And if I wasn't in the
What if it
military,
was somebody?
if I wasn't in the military, just to answer this, then
Yeah.
I would still do it because I think that I have like whole principles that if you like attacking children is like almost inherently wrong in every case. You have no good reason to do it, and I think people who do it deserve to be put in the ground. So I would do it of my own, over my
Okay.
own
Perfect.
Wait,
desire.
even babies created by grape?
What?
Even babies created by grape?
What's that question? I don't understand.
You just said you have a duty to not harm children, in your
Morally
view.
relevant, morally relevant children. Yeah.
Wait. Why is a baby conceived by grape not morally relevant?
Okay, wait. Okay,
Wait,
a
they could be
sentient,
morally.
a
I don't. They could be morally
sentient
relevant. Yeah.
grape baby.
Woo!
How about
What do
that?
you? I think. Oh, if you're asking about that, the sentience causal position, the position that I run is that if you have been raped, then there's some what's the word for it? Implied consent if you don't get the abortion past the point.
What did you just say?
Implied consent. Sorry, not consent.
He
Wrong
means
one.
implied like responsibility,
Yeah,
tacit consent to
tacit
the
consent. Yeah.
pregnancy or whatever, not the grape, obviously.
If
I'm
if with
confused.
with
Art is
foreknowledge,
crazy, but he's not an idiot.
if with foreknowledge and action, and this action is going to be like non-action, you don't get the abortion. It's going to be a tacit consent. That's where you're responsible.
Oh my God.
People with the grape exception actually have the same amount of time to get the abortion without the grape exception. If you don't, you're just responsible for different reasons.
But
I have a
like,
question.
why can't we?
Sorry, I have a question, and you can ask. If it's a critic pregnancy and it reaches sentience, would it be permissible to get the abortion then in the grape case?
It depends.
Oh my God.
Like in a general case, would you?
In a general case, prima facie, yeah, prima facie, yeah, it'll be fine.
To get the abortion once it
Yeah,
reaches
yeah, prima
sentience?
facie would be fine.
Do you think that like
What? Sorry, really quick. Art, what rights do you think babies have that are born pre-sentient but viable?
whoa?
Presentient but viable but born
Yeah.
in like a logically possible world.
When do
Yeah.
humans gain sentience? Is it in
They wouldn't.
infancy?
They would.
Hold on.
They
Let's
wouldn't.
just say, for the sake of argument, like sentience begins at 22 weeks and the baby's born at 20.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
23
If it
They
were
would
the
weeks
have.
and
case.
6 days.
They would have no rights, but there would be extrinsic reasons not to harm them.
Extrinsic reasons not to harm them.
Yeah.
Art, can you acknowledge
Like
that?
what?
So we can talk about the dysfunction or this disutility to society and harming them. We can talk about the mental states, negative mental states that it causes. We can talk about these actions propagating harm to these sentient living
Wait,
children.
you're against negative mental states and you joined the military?
What do you
Are
mean?
you okay?
Wait, what? I'm not against
my
negative
God.
mental states.
What branch of the military are you in?
Does it matter?
Yeah, what, I don't wait. I'm confused about the question.
Yeah, it matters.
Why does it
Who the fuck are
matter?
you?
Why does
Oh,
it
that's
I'm a
matter?
cute.
turtle.
What the fuck is going on?
You're a turtle?
Yes.
Wait a minute, everybody's talking at the same time. I want to be very confused.
I'm
I
so
don't even.
I'm so confused. I'm not against negative mental. I'm not a hedonist, but negative mental states are a reason not to do something.
Well,
It-
I'm confused on what your stance is.
You mean to like not join the military?
I
Bro, I
don't think
fucking
it's
love my
funny.
country.
I don't
What are you
think
talking
out of
about?
pocket.
I know you
Regardless
love
of
your country, but you know
No,
that when you
All
join the
right,
that's
military,
not
you're like
okay.
wait,
gonna
hold
have
on.
negative mental
Hold on,
states.
everybody's talking at the same time. I'm back.
I know
Sorry.
turtles are rude. I don't know what's
I would
wrong
Everybody's
with
you
talking at
you.
the
you
same time.
you'd have
I just
negative mental
want to.
states from anything.
I just want to ask him one question. You guys can go on. It's just kind of getting out of hand. So the
Oh
What's the
yeah,
case.
it's all
question?
about you. Protect it. Whatever. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Stop with the crash out.
What the
I just want to
fuck?
ask him the question. Then guys can take over. Because I'm very busy. But the question, like, so, like, what would be more important? Would the causal be more important? Would the sentience be more important? That's why I asked that question. The great
It's a
case.
conjunctive. They're both necessary.
Oh my god.
There's no hierarchy of importance.
Okay, they're
I
both
got
necessary.
a question. Should we minimize murder and harm?
We should minimize. Yeah, should definitely minimize murder and harm.
Pretty
Yeah.
sure you should say unalive and
Or
not that.
unalive, excuse me.
But
I
like,
apologize.
why? Art? Why do you think that?
Because
Oh my
harm
God.
is bad because it affects sentient individuals in a negative senses, and whether or not this harm is
So
obviously, I think what we mean is unjustified harm. I think we should obviously just to
Are,
stipulate
No,
because
no,
he
no,
out
might
of
not
he might
pocket,
be
are
unjustified
you
harm.
just
Should we
pro-life?
minimize harm, period?
turtle,
Harm is
do
always
you
I
bad.
have
don't know. I don't. Okay, so
self-control?
yeah. Okay, so yeah. Sorry, I should have clarified. That's bad on my part. I don't care about harm done to for justified reasons, and I definitely, depending on how you're using schmurder, I definitely don't care about it. I think schmurder is the unjustified unaliving of something, right?
Okay,
So
how do you substantiate justification for harm?
yeah, whether or not one has good reason to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Art,
like if
you're
you're going to the
pro-choice?
How do you
gym,
measure
if
that?
you're going to the
Art, so
gym, you're
you're
gonna harm your
pro-choice?
muscles
Yeah,
Wait,
I'm
so
why
that
pro-choice.
you
is
get
everybody
jacked
talking
and
at the same
sexy.
time? Like, come on.
Yeah. Sorry. What was the question? How do you reason to it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we take principles. So you take your normative ethical principles and you apply them. Then you test them for fallibility or falsify. Yeah, test them for falsifiability and fallibility. In the case of the principles hold, you have good reason to hold these principles, and you don't have good reason to reject them. I think you're justified in believing that they're true. True as in like true as in like you should apply them in your life day to day. If that is the case, and these principles hold to the principles that are being applied, then it would be the case that
Okay.
the reasons are there.
All right. So are these tests that you basically use, are those mind dependent?
Yeah, the test. Yeah, obviously they're mind dependent.
Okay, so if they're mind dependent, they can't be objective. I ask, is it objectively wrong to murder or unalive? Is it objectively
yeah.
wrong
I
to
think-
harm?
Then maybe I doubly misconstrued. I apologize. Yeah, I don't.
No, you're
When you
good.
say to me, objective wrongness is oxymoronic. I don't think that.
Do you
Or sorry,
believe in
sorry, not
objective
oxymoronic. A category
rights
error.
and wrongs?
I think it's a category error.
Okay. Do you believe in anything objective?
Like objective reality. Yeah.
Well, I'm talking anything that, like, concepts that are mind dependent that have some sort of objective truth.
Concepts that are in the meta-ethical domain. Yeah.
Okay, so meta-ethical domain. Okay, so you would agree.
Sorry. Metaphysical domain. I always get this.
Okay.
In the metaphysical
Okay.
domain. Yeah. It's like time,
Okay.
laws of logic, mathematics. Those things are all objective.
So can I ask, what meta-ethical framework do you abide by?
Meta-ethical.
Yeah.
I'm an anti-realist.
Anti-realist. Okay, could you break that down for me?
Yeah, it's just a case that moral propositions are going to be just expressions of what we find to be right and wrong via principle. They're not. There's not these
Principle.
like very.
What do you mean by principle?
There's several different principles. So meta-ethical is just
Okay.
saying what wrongness is. To me, wrongness is just something that violates the principle established by the thing I explained a couple minutes ago. Established by your normative.
Okay, yeah, but I'm still confused of what you mean by principle.
By principle, I just mean
Maybe I'm just not tracking here.
Do you know like the philosophical general notion of principle?
Yeah, no, but I'm asking what principles that you're using.
By principle, I just mean
'Cause yours might be different than mine.
what do you take it to mean? Because I don't want to
Well,
go
I'm
explaining
not
anything.
necessarily sure what you mean by principle. Which
Well,
is
I'm
why
asking, what do you take
you
it to mean? And
explain
maybe what do you take
Well,
it to
I'm
mean?
not really
Maybe-
taking it to mean anything because I don't.
So
really
you don't
any
have a. So you
context
don't know the
what you mean.
general. You don't know the general notion.
No,
of principle.
I don't, which is why I'm
All right,
asking.
cool.
you
So
to
yeah,
explain
so
it.
by principle, I just mean some either state of affairs or some I don't know, like break this down in layman's terms. I don't want to make it really boring and just use a bunch of philosophically loaded language.
Yeah.
By principle, I just mean
Do it.
do it. By principle, I just mean some set of a given structure that shouldn't be violated. Or sorry, not even shouldn't be violated. Just some set of a given structure.
Well, I feel like
structure.
you're telling me that this structure exists, but I want to know, like,
I don't think it exists in some physical sense.
yeah. Well, I'm not saying it exists in a physical sense, but you're saying that those
Analytic.
principles exist. I want to know what those principles are.
Yeah, later we just be going over my normative ethical framework then.
Oh,
Not
okay,
metaphysical.
so it's anti-realist, is what you said.
Like kind
No,
of
that's
harm or yeah.
That's my meta ethical framework. My normative ethical framework. So look, meta ethics.
Oh, okay.
Meta ethics. You are.
Yeah,
we just
yeah,
meta
yeah,
ethics
I know
just
the
describes.
difference between normative and metaethics. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
cool,
okay.
great. I don't have to explain that.
Yeah. Okay. So normative framework. So would that be like a collectivist idea?
I'm nowhere near a collectivist. I'm a deontologist.
Okay. So I mean, we agree on basically a fundamental that unaliving is wrong if it's unlawful or unjustified. Maybe not unlawful. We can throw that out the window, but unjustified. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And you said you would, basically substantiate justification from your normative framework.
To be substantiate. Yeah. So like for something to be wrong, it has to violate the normative ethical framework, and then what
Okay.
is wrong is established by the meta ethical framework.
Okay. So from the normative view, right? Or let me just ask you, do you believe that your normative view on things would be consistent with like mine or other people's?
I think probably consistent. My normative, yeah. I think we are a rules-based
Okay.
society.
Okay. And you agreed with me on minimizing unaliving, but you had some issue with the idea of minimizing harm, right?
Sorry, what did you say? Minimizing unjustified harm. Yeah.
Yeah. So when it comes to harm on yourself, right? I mean, we have a limit of how far we can go, or I mean, there's no real limit, but we can, judge if maybe cutting yourself is wrong, but going to the gym to build muscle, that's completely different, right?
Oh no, I don't want to be on that. That's not right or wrong. Neither of those are right or wrong.
You'd say they're morally neutral?
Yeah, they're neutral.
Okay. Cutting yourself, that's morally neutral is what you're saying. Am I correct on that?
Yeah.
There's scarification.
You can say it's wrong in like a I don't know, in like a sense where wrongness doesn't actually pertain to morals. You can say like, well, maybe if this isn't for your well-being, or maybe this doesn't benefit you at all, and it has more negative effects, it harms you. But I don't think what's happening there is harm.
Could we agree that the breaking point of harm on a physical body would be death? If you apply enough harm on someone, they will die.
If you apply enough harm, yeah, sure.
Yeah, so it would be the breaking point. Okay.
I don't think death is inherently bad, by the way.
Well, I do have a question on that.
We can agree that death is neutral. It's going to happen, but it's the inflicting of harm or death upon another that I would probably say I have the issue with. Would you say
upon another? Yeah. Upon a different agent.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when it comes to justification, I don't necessarily believe that if you inflict something on another agent, the other agent hasn't agreed or consented to it, that is wrong, right?
Depending whether or not the action is justified, yeah, prima facie.
Well, of course, for self-defense or a situation like that, yes, we could probably say. But I'm talking more of a non-threat, just like a being, right? Something that is morally neutral.
Yeah, okay, I can see that.
Okay. Would you say a fetus is morally neutral?
No.
Okay.
Depending on what you mean by morally neutral, I take actions to be morally neutral, not entities. Entities are either moral or amoral. I think the fetus is amoral. Oh, sorry, okay. They're either they're either moral agents or they're amoral agents, and fetus is amoral.
Okay. So because they are not, agents, they're amoral is what you're saying. So they're neutral. That's what I'm getting at.
And their decision making capabilities, yeah, they're neutral, if that's the best word to use.
Okay. Does one have to have the ability to do wrong to be considered innocent, or can they just be innocent from the virtue of not committing a crime or
I think
a
innocence.
wrong?
I think innocence is best applicable to things that can be guilty. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like that's where we would disagree, though, because how I would say something is guilty is if something was definitively done that was wrong. Something that is innocent is just something that hasn't done wrong. So even if you have the lack of capability to do wrong, you are still innocent from the virtue of not doing, wrong.
I don't even know what it means for some like that. By that logic, rocks are innocent, oxygen's innocent, carbon is innocent, the fucking sun is innocent. Yeah, no, that just seems incoherent to me.
Well, I mean,
that's obviously not what we're trying to convey when we talk about innocence. We're not talking about things like the sun. We're not talking about things that are like the moon. We're not talking about oxygen, carbon, fucking rocks. We're talking about agency. And when we convey that someone is innocent, is to say that, well, that person didn't do anything wrong in lieu of, that person couldn't do anything wrong. Because if someone ever said like, oh yeah, we're trying to see if this rock is guilty of something, they probably look at you like you're an idiot.
I mean, just because you have that intuition doesn't mean that it doesn't fit the description.
I think would you look if someone walked up to you and let's say like there was a courthouse and you walked in the courthouse for some reason and you're part of the jury, and the prosecution says, well, here comes the accused, and they literally place a rock on the chair, and they go, we're trying to prove we're here today to prove that this rock is guilty of arson. You probably look at them like they were insane, wouldn't you?
We're humans judging rocks right now. If rocks were moral agents,
wait. Would you look at the prosecutor like they were insane? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah, obviously, right? But if they did that to, let's say, a person, right, where you don't know if they're innocent or guilty, right? We just know that, hey, we're trying to prove that this person is guilty, right? Or either way, that we're trying to prove this person is innocent. You look at them, you wouldn't look, yeah, let's see what they're, where they're not. It's because rocks have the capacity for being guilty. Rocks don't have the capacity for being guilty. Why the fuck would they have the capacity for being innocent?
So I feel like this kind of plays into my point here. The reason why we wouldn't need to have a rock in a courtroom is because we already know it's innocent because of its lack of ability to commit wrongdoing.
I think the steelman I think he means they haven't had the opportunity to commit an immoral action. Is that what you mean?
Well,
it's not opportunity. It's they can't. They just can't.
That's what I mean. They can't because they're not at a specific like developmental ability to commit an immoral action.
But what I'm saying is that's irrelevant. I believe that for something to be guilty, it doesn't have to, or for something to be innocent, it doesn't require the ability to do wrong.
What does it mean to be guilty?
It is just innocent from the virtue of not committing any action.
Well, what does it mean to be guilty? Is guilty the inverse? Part of that is guilty the inverse of innocence.
Is guilty the sure?
Okay, so guilt requires commitment.
Sure.
What does it mean to commit something?
I would probably say to execute something, or to.
What does it mean to execute something? What does it mean to follow through with something?
Good question. I don't actually know, but I'd probably say it's to. I mean, the way I would define would probably be, or end up circular, because I don't actually have a great definition for execute.
Okay, do you think execution requires a mind? Like when atoms bond, do you think they're executing something?
Scientifically, yes, but I don't feel like.
Then you shouldn't be looking at the rock like it's crazy, because you think rocks can be guilty. Obviously, rocks obviously can commit things by that logic.
Well, when it comes to something like atoms or just stuff that happens in nature, I don't think nature is could be guilty or not, because that's morally neutral.
No, now it seems like there's a contradiction here, because when you say morally neutral, do you think morally neutral is like aligned with innocence?
Yeah.
Because remember, you take guilty to be
yes. I would say morally neutral and innocent.
What's the opposite of morally neutral?
Morally neutral, I would probably say, is guilty.
Okay. Oh, so by morally neutral, you just mean innocent. You're not saying anything
Yeah.
different.
So
Yeah.
so here, if I were to put it on a scale
Then wait.
here,
You already said that. Nature can commit
well,
things, and presumably
well,
nature can commit
let
things
me
that are
explain this.
wrong.
Hold
Wait.
on.
Let me just finish, and you can tell me
This
what you
art
disagree.
guy is calorie deficient today. Art, drink your smoothie, man. No, I'm just kidding, bro. Good to see you.
Fuck you. Look, let's just ask the question real quick. Look, presumably, if
Yeah.
you think nature can commit actions, which you agree with in the bonded Adam senses, you think they can commit wrong actions, thing that you don't think they should be able, they don't think they should do. If that's the case, you think nature can be guilty, and to say that nature is morally neutral would be a contradiction.
No. Okay. So what I'm saying here is that something that happens out of necessity can't have any morals attached to it, right? I don't believe a hurricane or a tornado is guilty, and I also don't think it's innocent per se. But I would say is
But it hasn't
neutral,
committed anything
not-
wrong.
Yeah, no.
Or has
so
it done,
would be
has it committed
neutral.
something
It would
that's
be
wrong?
neutral. It would
Wait,
be
has
neutral.
it? Wait, you think neutral just means
Hold on.
innocent? That's a contradiction too.
I would say it's not necessarily innocent, but a lack of guilt.
Yeah, that's what you think innocent is. That's innocence, by the way. This is so in the same case that you think that you for a second you thought that you were giving greatness. In my case, you've entered a point in which now you can't find the distinction between innocent and guilty, which is why you shouldn't use innocent that way, right? You can't find the distinction because you just said that something was morally neutral and not innocent. When you take moral neutrality to be innocence.
Can something be guilty and innocent at the same time?
I don't think so. I think they're mutually exclusive.
Okay, mutually exclusive. So is guilty not the counterpart or opposite counterpart of innocent?
That's what it means to be mutually exclusive, to be at the antithesis of something.
Yeah. So if you agree they can't be the same state, right? You can't be innocent and guilty.
It is either. It is either.
It's either one or the other, right?
Well, there's a third option, but you don't think that third option is applicable, right? Because that third option.
I don't. I think for most cases it's not applicable. I would say
no.
something.
That'd be a contradiction, by the way.
Why? How would that be a contradiction?
Because analytically, you take innocence to be the lack of guilt. There's no case where something lacks guilt and is innocent. Sorry, and is guilty. Inversely, there's no case where something has guilt and is innocent. Right? So it's either the thing lacks guilt, therefore it's innocent. Things lacks innocence, therefore it's guilty. That applies to all things. That's why you shouldn't use innocent that way.
Innocent doesn't mean necessarily good either.
I never said it meant good. It just means
we could
lack
say,
of guilt.
Yeah, so we could say, if we had a scale here, right, it went from 1 to -1 or -1 to 1 or whatever, right? Morally neutral would be 0.
There is no morally neutral. There's just innocent.
Hold on. Yeah, so I'm using those words synonymously here, right?
Okay.
Morally neutral and innocent would be at 0, right? Nothing, I believe, can be good if nothing has happened, right? So 1 doesn't even matter, but -1 would be guilty, right? You can only go from neutral to bad. There's no such
Wait,
thing
has
as
nothing
good.
committed? Is nothing guilty? Nothing
Is
does
nothing
not.
guilty. What do you mean?
Nothing has no traits. Therefore, it has to be innocent. Which also might be a contradiction.
Yeah, nothing is innocent. Nothing has committed anything. Correct.
Exactly. That would actually be
How is that a contradiction?
Well, presumably you want to say if there is innocence, then it's not nothing, right? That's what nothing means. It's the absence of all things. But if nothing is innocent, then it's not nothing
Okay.
anymore.
When I think of nothing, I think of
Empty space.
Yeah, basically.
That's what not. Yeah, space is still obtaining, right? Nothingness
Okay.
is nothing. It's like the lack of all
Yeah.
things.
Okay, so I don't know. I mean, when it comes to that, there was a misunderstanding, but I feel like my point still applies. Innocent and morally neutral.
To go back to the entire thing, right? I don't know why are you looking at this rock like you're crazy? You think rock can be guilty?
Do I think rocks can be guilty?
You think nature can commit actions? If nature can commit actions, then it's obviously possible they can commit wrong actions. If they can commit wrong actions, they can then be guilty.
Well, I don't think I'm in a place to judge what is morally wrong or right from nature.
That's not relevant to the question, though. Whether or not you want to judge it,
I think it is.
Whether or
right?
not you want to judge it, that's completely irrelevant to whether or not it can be or can't.
If a rock
Let me finish. Let me just finish. Whether or not you can or can't, or you are in the place to judge it is irrelevant to whether or not it can or can't be innocent or guilty. I'm saying you shouldn't be looking at The Rock crazy because you think The Rock can be guilty.
Is something that is guilty and innocent just those concepts? Are those mind dependent or no?
I think all words are mind dependent.
Okay. Well, what do the words represent? Are those is what it represents
That's
mind
where,
dependent?
on your view, that's what has to be judged, not mine.
Well, I'm asking what you believe.
That'd be a pivot. We're on your view right now.
No, it's not a pivot. I'm getting to it. I just need an answer for this.
That's what a pivot is. My
It's a
answer
yes
does
or no.
not.
I just need an answer to.
My answer
keep
does not
going.
affect your position at all.
Listen, I'm not even trying to justify my position.
Then what are you doing? That's what I'm asking you to do. If you're
I'm
not
trying to
justify it,
figure
then
this out. Can you just answer the question, yes or no?
No, because I don't like pivots.
Okay, well, I don't really care what you like.
Okay, that's fine. But remember, I'm your interlocutor, and so you might want to care what I like.
So answer the question then.
I already told you no. It's a pivot.
Okay. So how are we going to progress the conversation?
Well, what you're doing now is running away, presumably because you said
It's not
something
running
stupid.
away. I need to understand.
That's what running away. Look, you're literally saying
It's not running away. Running away would be me leaving the live.
No. That's not all running is, right? Because if I just stopped engaging with you, that's running away from the conversation. Even though I'm still present here.
I'm still engaging with you. I just need an answer.
You're not engaging with the conversation
quick,
anymore. You're in meta. What's up?
Art, to be fair, sometimes it does help to think, like to understand how someone thinks about something so that you can relay your messaging them to them in a way that's like a little bit more clear. That's what I was trying to do with you. Like, I'm not trying to pivot away from my stance necessarily, but I am trying to understand, like, okay, if you think about it this way, like maybe there's a better way for me to explain it.
Yeah, but that's usually when the position's already been given and there's confusion.
Oh, I see.
There isn't any confusion,
Okay,
right? I've tracked everything he said. I've cornered him on a position. I think I've cornered him on something that is obviously wildly unintuitive, so much so that he thinks it's unintuitive. But now he's pivoting to my position. What I say here does not matter. It won't change the question.
So I said innocent is the same as morally neutral, right? Something that hasn't committed an action cannot be considered guilty by virtue of doing nothing. A rock on its own is not nature. It has a nature, but it's not nature itself. Therefore, it is innocent because it hasn't done anything.
No. That's not what the thought experiment was doing, right? And also, I didn't ask you that question. The thought experiment was when you see a rock on trial, the fucking notion of a rock being guilty is nonsensical to most people. So if you saw the rock on trial, you probably look at the prosecution like they're fucking insane, right? But you shouldn't be doing that because you think the rock can be guilty. You think the rock can commit actions. Right. I do think the rock can commit actions.
I believe nature can commit actions. I don't believe something that is inanimate that has a nature can commit
By
actions.
commit, you mean execute. By execute, you just mean basically to do something. Rocks can do things.
Yeah, listen, I don't believe the
rocks
is
can degrade.
The atoms. I believe the rock is built of atoms, but I don't believe what those individual atoms do to each other really mean anything.
Do you think a rock is do you think a rock is an individual entity?
Listen, do you believe that every single action is either guilty or good, or good or bad?
Why are you asking me that question?
Because it's important.
No, it's not. This is your view.
Important.
This is your view.
Oh my goodness.
This is your view. It's not important to your view.
Yes. Okay.
What I think is never going to be important to what you're trying to convey.
Okay. So something like me walking, for example, I don't believe that it can be good or bad, right?
Obviously, if you walk on babies' faces,
can you let
bad.
me finish? I'm trying to give you my view, and you just keep interrupting. Oh my goodness!
Why is that bad?
And then when I ask you a question, you're like, why are you talking to me? Just
that's not what I do.
Tell me your position. Tell me your position.
Maybe you don't understand the flow of the conversation.
Oh my goodness!
I did interrupt you there. Finish, go ahead.
Yeah. So what I was saying is that something that is neutral, and when I say neutral, I'm also using innocence, right? So something like walking, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be good or bad. It's just innocent, right?
No, that's false. That's false.
No. Oh, I was giving.
Sorry.
Yeah. So something like walking, because it's not something that really has any moral connotation attached to it. It's neutral, right? A rock has no ability to do anything. If we consider the rock as
that's false.
An object and less of its atoms, the object can't really execute anything. It can't really commit to anything, which is why it can't be guilty of anything.
Just to be clear, no, I'm going to disagree with that. Just to be clear, we never talked about good and bad when we were talking about innocence. So I don't know. You bringing that up just seems like you're equivocating now, because when you say neutral there, you're talking about morally neutral, not neutral in the innocent sense. So you might want to stop using the term.
The good and
either
bad
you should
term
stop using the term
wasn't
in
even
both
necessary.
senses. Either stop
didn't
using
even
the term.
equate it to anything.
Either stop using the term in both senses because it's
I didn't even
equivocation.
equate it to anything.
You said it's not good or bad. You said it's not good or bad. It's neutral.
I said it's not good or bad, and it's not
neutral.
Morally. Yeah. So
okay, but you've also been
those
using neutrality.
Oh,
do you agree?
Goodness.
Do you agree? You've been. Oh, so you cut me off that time. I stopped when I cut you off. By the way, you cut me off the time. Do you agree that you've been using neutrality in the term of innocent and guilty?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you use neutral there, you weren't referring to innocent or guilty, were you?
What?
When you use neutral,
yes, I was.
No, you were saying it's not good or bad; it's neutral.
Yeah. When I say good or bad, that's a completely different scale that I was using to determine if something.
That's what I'm saying. You're agreeing with me. Yes, you're agreeing.
No,
with me.
I'm not, because when I said that,
I'm saying you're using neutral in two different senses.
Goodness. I'm trying to explain here, and then you're cutting me off. You see,
but you cut me off, and you didn't even understand the thing I was saying.
Dude, you cut me off like 15 times.
I stopped when I cut you off. By the way, I stopped, and I was like, "Okay, I apologize. Go ahead and finish."
Okay, can I speak?
I was talking. I'm gonna finish speaking, and then you can go.
Oh my goodness!
I gave you the same respect. I said, "Okay, I apologize. I interrupted, and I let you go." Anyway, back to what I was saying. Right? You're using neutral in two different senses. That's asinine. It being good or bad was never part of the equation, so I don't know why you brought that up. And thirdly, right, you still haven't addressed the issue that I brought up, right? So rocks can, under your worldview, commit things because you think atoms can commit things. All you take committance to be is simply an action. Rocks can decay. Rocks can fucking do a lot of dumb shit. They can decay. They can fucking shift, do sedimentary actions and all that shit. If it's meteoric, it depends on the fucking environment. Some rocks can fucking combust based on pressure. But yeah, things like that. Even take the fucking notion of decay, a rock just crumbling due to like its environment or something. That's obviously some action that you can talk about, right? But presumably you don't want to say what I would say is action in that sense is irrelevant to whether something's good or bad, which is what you tried to say for a second. You tried to say something like, well, nature isn't really giving actions. That's not really an action committed by nature. Well, it seems like it is an action. It's just not an action that's relevant to innocent or guilty, which would be a mind-dependent action.
No, I mean, it depends on how we judge guilty and innocent. I mean, in a court of law, we're judging if something is innocent or
I'm just
guilty
asking
of
about
a
what you
crime.
think.
Hold on. When it comes to like a decay, yes, the rock is guilty of decaying.
No, that's not how guilty works. Using guilty in a different sense now. Not using guilty in a different sense.
Oh,
Guilt is obviously wrongdoing, right?
No, I disagree.
Define guilty?
I'd probably say guilty is if we're trying to use it with how I defined committing or executing, it's just synonymous with those words. You executed something.
To be guilty isn't to do something wrong.
To be guilty of something. To be guilty.
Then if guilty is the inverse of innocence, then innocence isn't. So are you think innocence is
the lack of doing something?
All you think innocence is the lack of doing anything. So nothing is innocent.
It depends on how you're judging it. Like I said,
fetuses obviously aren't innocent.
Hold on, let me finish. Okay, thank you. So it depends on how far in you want to zoom in. If you want to say if someone is guilty of, walking, sure. But if you zoom out, it's like, is this person guilty of a crime? No. So then they're innocent. It depends on how far you zoom in.
Keep this going for 3 more minutes. Then we're gonna move on.
Okay. Fetuses obviously aren't innocent under this view. Do you agree?
No.
You don't take being guilty to be guilty. Oh, sorry. You don't take being guilty of a crime. You just take being guilty is to do something. Fetuses are living, breathing entities. They're doing something. Like I said,
it depends on how far you zoom in.
So, therefore, by the actual analytical case, fetuses are guilty.
Wait, but
yeah, he's saying not in a...
To me, real quick, let me just land the plane.
I think he's saying in a
let me just land the plane. Let me just land the plane.
Morally relevant.
Let me just land the plane.
Let him finish. He's got to land the plane.
And because I'm about to just end it, because I don't see it being any substantive at this point. Because you've just been like, it seems like you've just been like weaseling out of it a little bit. So I just want to end it here. It seems like there's no substantive difference that you're really giving me here that I care about. I don't give a damn that fetuses exist. I care whether or not they're innocent or guilty. And it seems like when you say guilty or innocent, you're just talking about whether or not something has done something in a very, very large basic sense. That's just not relevant to me. And I'm fine to leave the conversation there.
Okay, that was interesting.
All
James,
right.
do you mean guilty in a morally relevant sense, or do you mean like functionally guilty?
Well, it depends on how far you zoom into it. Like I was saying, we could say something is guilty of anything, that has been executed or done, but it's not really relevant. If we're in a court of law, we're not going to say someone was guilty of walking. We're going to see if they were guilty of a crime. When it
Like
comes to a
if a
fetus,
dog bites somebody, right? It's guilty of
yeah,
biting, but the dog is not going to be morally responsible for like doing what dogs do, which is bite.
Yeah, I care about guilt in a
sure.
morally relevant sense. I don't care about guilt in the way you're
So when
describing it.
so when R's talking about guilt, he's talking about like with intent and, an action, like an action taker with forethought or
Yeah, but fetuses are sentient and have moral agency. That's the issue.
well,
Some of
to
them are,
Art,
yeah,
they're
I
not
agree.
sentient
I think
until
some of
a
them
certain
are.
point.
No, they
Okay.
actually. Well, my view
But
is they are.
you guys are
actually
aware of harm
sentient, but-
theoretics, right?
Yeah. Which one are you talking
Okay,
about?
so then would you agree to the extent where if I came up to you and I was guilty of, let's say, pinching your arm, it would not be permissible for you to grab a bazooka and blow me away?
That's perfect.
That's not a harm theoretic. That's like harm reduction. But yeah,
No. It's harm theoretics.
no, because that's not telling me what harm is.
No, a harm theoretic is something that identifies how something is harmed, and in the sense that like a future like ours account, a time relative
Yeah.
interest account, things like that.
The CCA, comparative counterfactual account. What you're
those
talking about
are
is
harm
the principle of proportionality, which is just to say that you
Okay,
should
all
never
right.
reject something with more force than it was applied to you. But that's like
Okay.
harm reductionist. That's not harm.
And
You're right.
you said the fetus is what, guilty?
No, the fetus can't be guilty or innocent under my view.
Okay. Is it okay to eliminate something that is
Okay.
neither guilty or innocent?
Okay, finish this
Not in all
point, we're gonna
cases.
move on. Finish this point, and we're gonna move on.
Okay.
Well, I mean, the fetus is sentient.
What do you take sentience
from
to be,
his-
Ben? Let's hear it.
Just that which exists in the absolute.
Son of a
All
bitch.
right. We're just gonna move on for the person who's actually here. Hello, Mr. Genesis.
Greetings. I feel honored for you having this prompt up here.
Yeah, in a way, just for you.
So you're gonna bring up your friends to debate me, or?
You can just talk about it. Like, I'm confused. Like, can you restate your position? What is that? Oh, it's like a dog.
Well, yeah. I mean, I just take it to be the case that if our goal is to actually save lives rather than signaling virtue, then we must look at the data in which banning abortion just drives it underground and doesn't actually end abortion, whereas stewardship stops it at the source by taking away the temptation, I guess, of abortion.
What would be stewardship? What do you think that is? What
Yeah, reallocating money to better support women's women during their pregnancies, maybe funding the woman's first day after birth in the hospital, or paying for those bills, allowing more I guess baby resources like formula, diapers, things like that, but also more accessible contraceptives.
I think the
Those
same
things.
thing for grape too. We should just allow it in society.
Well, that's pretty fucking stupid. I don't think you understand my position.
Well, do these things not already exist, Mr. Genesis?
What things not already
The things
exist?
the things that you're describing, don't we already have these?
I think that there's certain states that do implicate these. States for instance, we can look at the Colorado Miracle, and they did this. Sure. But I don't think that this is something that is practiced on a federal level or on the same level in which we're trying to push these pro-life bills.
Well, since you mentioned Colorado, I mean, and you said it would reduce abortions, but you say they do have these to the same. I mean, at least to some degree, but
they've implicated studies on this. I wouldn't say like they've made like laws based off of this. Like there was a study done. It's called the Colorado Miracle, where they made contraceptives free and accessible for I think it was like 4,000 different women, and followed them around for I think like 2 years. And they saw that teen pregnancies dropped about 68%, or 68%. Abortions dropped about 62 to 71%. So, I mean, I would look at these numbers and say, wow, this is pretty cool, actually. When we look at like the rate of abortions being dropped, and that was like 4.4 compared to like the national average of like 19.2.
What about the rate of adultery going on, though?
Yeah. What about the rate of adultery? Like,
if you're going to be handing out contraceptives to teenagers, don't you think that that's going to increase the rate at which they're fucking each other, for lack of a better term?
Yeah. No. So what if they're fucking each other? Do you think that's just
encouraging adultery is part of your system too?
Do you think that we should
be married to
encouraging teens to have intercourse that they can't consent to? You don't think that's problematic?
Do you want me to answer your question, or do you want to keep yapping?
Any day.
Cool. Do you think that in a secular society that we should only operate off of Christian morals?
Well, if you're secular, no, but you're not secular, at least.
Well, I live in a secular society. I don't live in a Christian nationalist society. So, I mean, like for instance, I don't think it would be a good thing for us to start throwing gay people in jail because it's antithetical to my beliefs. Same with
but you're not saying but you're saying going around and giving people who cannot consent to intercourse tools to have quote unquote safer intercourse because it leads to less abortions. But my question is how do you know it doesn't lead to more sex outside of marriage, which would also be just as much of a sin as unaliving your unborn baby? If you're a Christian, like
so I mean, I can acknowledge that that's going to be a sin as well, right? I can acknowledge that. I can even grant your entire worldview within this, and then just simply posit
my entire worldview.
Hold on.
Are
just
you not
simply
Christian?
Posit. Just simply.
Are you not a Christian?
Holy shit, lady! You want to stop yapping?
Are you not a Christian?
Question. Anyways, like I was just saying.
Is he gonna deny? Are you denying that you're a Christian?
No, I'm a Christian. I'm wondering what the relevancy
is.
Whether I'm going to be a Christian or not a Christian.
Ben, I want to hear this. Be quiet, buffoon.
Genesis, what is a Christian?
Wait, hold on. Let him respond to this. I kind of want to hear it.
Yeah, I'm not answering that question because it's not relevant to my argument. Thank you. So, anyways, yeah, Mermaid, what's going to be the problem if I don't answer whether or not I'm a Christian? I think it's pretty obvious that it is the case that I'm a Christian, but it's not relevant to the conversation. I'm not here to talk about.
Well, you're making, Genesis, you're just claiming that, honey, that you have to make an argument that it's not relevant.
Why do I have to make an argument for?
Because you're making the claim that it's not relevant. That's a positive claim.
Yeah, because
what's your argument to that?
My argument's not a normative argument. It's talking about legality.
Well, speaking of something that's relevant.
No, it's not.
Yes, it's completely about liberty. So if it is the case that
it's about liberty,
yeah. So if it is the case that we both agree that abortion should be ended or obsolete, right? Then let's talk about pragmatically how we end.
Teens having sex, should that be ended too?
What about teens having sex?
Should that be ended too?
How is this relevant to abortion?
Shouldn't that be ended too? Or no?
How is this relevant to abortion? Like, are you going to continue to obfuscate and go off this?
I'm not obfuscating. I'm asking you equally.
And
should we be encouraging teenagers to be having sex with each other?
What's the relevancy of people fucking compared to people unaliving their children?
Yes, they're equal sins. You know that, right? Sins are all equal.
Okay, I can grant you that they're both wrong, and I already stipulated that. Just because something is sinful doesn't mean that I think that we should throw people in jail for committing, oh my gosh, a sin. Like I'm
asking you how you're going to go about you want to end abortions, right?
If
but you're encouraging people to have adulterous sex right? By virtue of doing that, you think that that's gonna make
Wait, this
you.
isn't.
Is
Wait.
that better? Is that a better way to
I'm not
preach the
saying.
gospel?
I'm
Is
not
that a better way
saying.
to show
Yeah.
what
No,
Christ
this is a
taught us?
straw man.
Is that a
I'm not.
better way?
Hold
Like,
on,
I'm
lady.
so confused.
Holy shit! You want to read for First Timothy and shut the fuck up for once? Thank you. Yeah. So I'm not saying.
Yeah, you're not my
that
husband
it's.
or my father, you dumb fuck.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
simmer
I'm a dumb
down,
fuck, but you
simmer
can't
down,
even
simmer
attack
Yeah,
the
you are a
down,
dumb
argument.
fuck because you're
simmer
trying to
down,
have a secular view and claim to be a Christian.
simmer
You
down,
can't have both
What's
at the
simmer
wrong
same
with
down.
time.
holding a
All
secular
right,
view?
enough, simmer down. It's getting heated now. Simmer down.
What's wrong with holding a secular view? Go ahead. I'm very curious about this. Your self
Yeah,
righteousness.
you don't
Please,
hold it. That's what's wrong
please,
with it. You're lying.
please, Your Highness, please tell me why it's wrong for me to hold a secular argument. Please tell me what's going to be wrong about this.
Listen, you can be blasphemous if you want to.
I'm not
You
being
can
blasphemous. Do
pretend
you know
to
what
be a
blasphemy
Christian
is?
and then hold a
Do you know what
secular
blasphemy
view.
is? Because
But guess what?
not once
But
did I
guess
reject.
what?
Not
You
once did I
cannot
reject God.
hold contradicting views. If it goes against
How is
God,
this? How is
it's
this
now
contradictory?
not
When did
going
I
to
say
be
that? When did I say
consistent
that?
with your Christian worldview.
When did I
Unless
say
you're
that?
claiming that
When
you
did I
don't
say
have a
that
Christian
women
worldview
should get
and you're just a
abortions, or
secularist.
I'm fine with
Oh,
women
that's
getting
crazy. I don't know
abortions?
how the
When did
fuck
I
you were
say this,
talking that
lady?
whole time when I was
Lady.
literally responding to what you just said. You
Okay,
asked
this is
me a
getting.
question, I
Well, you're making
answered.
a
What did I
claim
say?
and you're
Go ahead and
slandering my
steel man my
name, so
answer.
All
I would
right,
Go ahead and
appreciate
repeat what I
you
just said
if you would.
so we
Yeah,
know you
I
were listening.
understand that your sewing circles wants to go ahead and have this conversation about what does Genesis believe. Oh my gosh, he is totally not
What are you
Christian
talking
because
about?
he's holding a pro-choice pragmatic stance on what something can be legally done within the bounds of liberty. But this is still going to be very
That's
much
because it's
antithetical to
contradicting
his
your
beliefs.
Christian
But you
view.
still haven't actually substantiated why it's wrong for me to hold this position.
Well,
Yeah,
okay,
it's
there's
not
a few
Christian of
ways you
you.
can go about why it's
It's
wrong
it's
to hold that
it's
position.
against your Christian
There's a lot of ways.
claims that you're a
So,
Christian.
Wait,
hold on,
did
there's a
I?
lot of ways you can go about it, right? Like
Mhm.
there's three different ways. Firstly, I don't even know what you mean by wrong there. When you're invoking that term, I'm not sure entirely what that's
We'll say
saying,
antithetical. Would be
but
incorrect on my own beliefs to hold or a
well, no,
contradiction.
But not
according
his
to what
but
though?
not his but not his
Hold on,
Christian
hold on.
beliefs, Ben, just his
According
secular
to
ones.
wrong according to what though? Are you talking about stance independently or stance dependently moral facts? Are you talking about wrong in virtue of God's connotations? What are you talking about? Because what is it wrong? What is that in virtue of? Is it
I mean, we can go like within God's context of this.
well? Then of course it's antithetical and logically inconsistent.
Yeah,
to
you're
your
being a
entire
fucking
position.
asshole.
If you're
And
saying
you're
Yeah, how
not
so?
being
if you're
good
saying
faith
if
at
you're saying
all.
hold on, if you're saying that it's antithetical to God's nature, God's commands, and you're talking about pragmatical implications, the pragmatical implications are entirely antithetical to God's commands. So that's entirely why it's logically inconsistent.
Well, I mean, I find it very interesting because I think it would also be antithetical to God's command too if we just started implicating police states to police abortion.
Why?
Yeah, so like for instance, you give more power to the government. This allows the government to do more with this power, which would take away, like,
How
for
does
instance,
that follow?
you give more power to a government to, like, for instance, have more access to individuals' private lives and liberties. I mean,
Do you think when you well, okay, firstly, I don't know what the wrongness is there if you could represent it under God's law or in some apostolic church fathers interpretation of biblical understandings or whatever you want to do, but
yeah,
it doesn't make any sense because
I'm not necessarily like wanting to go into like a theological like debate on this specific topic. I just want to like
Ben,
talk
he
about my
so
argument,
desperately
and
wants to hold
I
a
can
non-Christian
substantiate
view
I
and
can
then claim to be Christian. It
substantiate.
makes no fucking
well
sense.
that's exactly what's
Why
wrong
am
with
I
your
why am I
view, though,
getting
because
muted?
Don't mute him. I told him not to mute him. This is
Thank
getting.
you.
Can I be
Holy
a mod
shit,
though so I can
that's
mute
out
people,
of
please?
pocket.
that's exactly
Wait. Okay.
I'm not a mod yet.
Okay,
I
guys.
want to
To
be
be
one.
fair, the prompt is a
Guys,
pragmatic.
can I just ask a question really quick?
no,
No,
There's
just
talking
stop. Hold
over.
on.
yeah.
Genesis. So
I'm just a bit confused on who's
let's
following who.
just hold
Just
on.
try to listen and catch up.
Let's take this atomic proposition, okay? The proposition is just that which is wrong is that which corresponds or is antithetical to God's nature, okay? If that's
Okay.
the case and you're trying to presume that why is your argument wrong? Your argument already presupposes something antithetical to God's nature, so that's entirely why it's wrong.
Yeah, so like what I'm saying is there's going to be things that should be like legally tolerated just because it's wrong. Like I just stipulated earlier, right? Just because like it's wrong to be gay, I don't think that we should punish gay people for having their relationships within a secular society.
It's not wrong to be gay. It's wrong to have sex outside of your marriage.
I don't think that we should. Yeah, I don't think that
So
we
you
should
don't even
implicate.
know what your
Yeah, I don't think that we should
like, Ten
implicate.
Commandments are at this point.
Holy shit, lady! Quiet.
Do you think that in the
Just
same
because I'm a
lens,
bitch doesn't mean I have to be quiet for
Lady,
you,
calm
dumbass.
down. Holy cow, you're so emotional.
Maybe you should try to defend your fucking stance.
I'm
instead,
actually
but-
trying to, but I'm getting bombarded by
Okay,
three
any
people
day now.
and
We would love
interrupted
to
every
hear a
single section.
logical conclusion. Go ahead.
Again, I've been trying to substantiate this. Number one, first, I was going to say before I got interrupted again that I'm not interested in representing the church. I'm not interested in representing the faith with this topic because it's a completely secular argument.
that's not true. And I can tell you why it's not true.
Why is it not true?
When you said, why is your argument wrong? I asked you in virtue of what, whether or not it stands independently, stands dependently true, whether or not those moral dilemmas are wrong. You said it's in virtue of God's commands. So you already invoked God's law or God's codes into the system, already into a secular argument. That
you're right.
is
I made it. Yeah, you're right. I made a blunder. I'll just say it's going to be dependent of my own virtue then.
What does that mean?
Well, I'll just say it's wrong. It's just what I would feel then.
It means it's
just what you would feel.
Then. It's arbitrary.
Yeah, it's arbitrary.
Yeah, arbitrary.
I'm basing it off of the Constitution.
Okay, why should we accept that
Which is
something is
also
wrong in virtue of? Why should we accept that whether or not something is wrong is in virtue of your attitudes?
By attitudes, yeah, because I think that this is going to be like the more pragmatic stance in which we could end or make abortion obsolete. So if it is the case that we both agree that abortion is something that we should end, and my position would hold to be like more true or make abortion more obsolete, then I'd say that we should probably take this position.
Well, what's the argument for that premise?
Yeah, so it's just gonna be. I mean, I don't have like
abortion would be more obsolete if you took your view. What's even?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have like a formalized syllogism for it, but I can demonstrate that like through history itself.
You recognize formalized arguments are that which satisfies sequence of well-formed formulas. I'm not asking you to satisfy a sequence of well-formed formulas or a finite sequence of well-formed formulas. I'm just asking you to give me an argument, which is just typically states of premises or states of propositions that lead to a conclusion. That's all I'm asking you. It doesn't have to be formalized whatsoever. It doesn't have to be syllogized.
Yeah. Yep, I understand. So yeah, I mean, I just take it to a case like if we look towards instances within world history where we've either done try and ban abortions or totally ban abortions, or we tried to implicate stewardship and ban abortions. It didn't get rid of abortions. It just drove it underground.
What's wrong with that?
Driving abortions underground because it still happens.
Why would we care if women or people were trying to do something that presumably is extremely immoral against the code of law?
Because it still kills fucking children. Isn't that the point of getting rid of abortions?
Of course,
so we stop people from killing children.
Of course.
Holy shit!
Of course, we care if it kills children, but then if it goes underground, we have much more solid reason to
Why?
Put the women in prison or in jail or
isn't that just like retributive justice, not restorative justice? Like you're waiting until the child itself dies to do something about that. What does it actually do? That doesn't do jack shit.
But in God's law, that is the tone that justice is described.
Well, you'd have to make an argument for God's law. I already said that this stance.
I've been extremely quiet though. I've been extremely quiet.
Yeah, you'd have to make an argument for God's law then.
I'm
by argument, what do you mean?
Yeah, what is God's? How do you know that? Yeah, how do you know that God's law is
I'm
pertaining
just
to the
well. Hang
matters
on
of
a
the
second.
soul and not
Let
matters
me
of like
Well,
the
explain.
now
state?
you're talking about
Just,
something
just
entirely distinct because you invoked knowledge. That's an epistemic question. You're not asking me
Sure.
about an
let me
argument.
let me just explain what I mean really quick, Ben. Just really quick. This will only take a moment, okay? And then I'll shut up. I'll go back to shutting up. You guys are having a great dialogue, Ben. You're doing wonderful, but I want to say this. It's like why is it need? So when it comes to God's law, you have two types. You have restorative justice, which is you paying restitution. Like say you dig a ditch, right? And an ox falls in the ditch and the ox dies. Well, restorative justice in that case is you just pay restitution. But in God's law, when it comes to the taking of innocent life, like we see in Genesis 9:6, Exodus 21:22 to 24, Numbers
Like cheating on your
11 to
wife.
14. Here, let me continue, please.
Wait,
That's
am I
a
wrong
different
about
law
that though?
code.
Like,
No,
like
that's a
for
different law
instance, if
code.
you cheat on your
Please
wife,
stop
you get
interrupting
stoned.
me. I have been really quiet.
No, that's
All
fine. You're
right,
just
please stop
yapping, dude.
interrupting me.
I'd
No,
like to get
that
back to the
that
conversation.
theory. By
Please
the
stop
way, in
interrupting
those,
me.
I
Not
was
you,
just
Ben.
gonna.
You're okay. I was just
Yeah,
wanting to finish, and then I'll shut up. I will
yeah.
shut
Land your
up.
plane.
Let me finish.
I'm waiting.
Okay. So justice, according to the framework that you said I want to draw it from a Christian standard, right, or a Christian framework. But I guess you moved to your own perception. But from a
Yeah,
Christian
because I'm not
framework.
representing the church anymore.
Oh my goodness gracious! Please,
Yeah,
please
I'm
control
just
your
making it
impulse.
completely clear that I'm not
Okay.
representing the church. This is a
Okay,
completely
but
secular
I'm
argument. So
here clarifying the
cool.
Christian side of it, okay?
hmm
So from God's law, right? From a perspective that's consistent with God's law, justice in this case demands that the one who takes the life of a child in utero dies. With malice aforethought, they need to die.
Well, I thought that
Okay,
was.
so
I
if you're
thought just to clarify, I thought that's like if there was a case where you know a man implicated like a miscarry within a woman, if the child were to be unalived, they'd have to pay a fine. However, if
no,
the woman
no.
were to be unalived, then it would be an eye for an eye.
No, Exodus 21, that particular code grants equal protections, assigns both to both mother and child. So
Well,
if the child
I
dies
interpreted
and the
that
mother
completely
dies,
different.
well, I mean, either way, like either one of them, whatever happens to either one, right, needs to happen to the person because it says if the woman is struck and the child comes out,
Right, but if we were to grant mine, if we were to grant my interpretation, well, hold on. If we were to grant my interpretation, doesn't it just place more value on the mother than the child?
21 because you brought it up.
Yeah. But I just wanted to clarify.
No, all God's children are equal, Genesis. Duh.
I'm not talking about
Hence why
spiritually,
it's not cool
dumbass.
to
Okay,
kill
guys,
them.
Yeah, I'm not talking about spiritually.
hold
I'm
on,
talking
guys.
about.
I'll allow it to be open panel, but it needs to be structured. It's getting kind of out of hand.
If the child lives, right, then the man who struck her pays restitution. But if the child dies, it says he shall give life for life.
Wait, it's if the child dies or the mother dies.
It says if the woman is struck and the child comes out dead, sir, then he pays life for life. That's what it says.
I mean, I'll grant this. I'll still grant this. Yeah, sure. I can still grant this.
So I'm just explaining how God's law works. In this case, in this particular topic, it demands death. Okay? It's punitive. It's not restorative. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, cool. So I guess like if that's going to be the case, and we have like instances where like we can look at Poland where they have like a complete and utter ban on abortion. But then we also understand that women are still getting like abortion pills like sent to them.
Wait, that means it's not banned then. What?
Well, it's complete.
Correct.
There's a federal ban on it, but they're still like through means of the black market. They're still sending hundreds of thousands of abortion pills sent to Poland.
Genesis, their country, right, would be the same as ours. When they mean ban, it's just doctors can't perform it, but like it's still allowed.
No, I'm talking about abortion pills, not abortions.
So abortion pills are banned in Poland.
Yeah, there's an entire ban on abortion.
Yes, criminals,
pills,
people who still want to kill their children will find a way to do it. That's right.
That's exactly what the fucking point is out of pocket. I know you haven't been tracking and you've been yelling this whole time, but that's
How
exactly
is
what
that
I've
not
been saying.
tracking? You're saying they should just be allowed to do it legally.
No, that's not.
Yeah,
shit,
you
this is a straw
are.
man. Yeah.
You don't think women should be allowed access to an abortion?
What I'm saying
Do you think, hold on, answer the question. Do you think women should be
what
allowed
I'm
access to an abortion?
Hold on, let me respond.
Do you?
Yeah, what I'm saying, well, I'm going to respond to the first thing. first, and then I'll respond to that. What I'm saying is that we should remove the temptation which causes women to get abortions before we force women into positions in which they feel like the only thing in which they can do is get an abortion. It's not saying that that's a correct thing. I'd prefer them
So you want
not
to
to get
give
an
them money
abortion.
and like hand out husbands? Like, why do you think women get abortions?
I want to give them 74% of abortions are 74% of women that claim that they got an abortions. The reason being would be because of financial issues. Or
Okay,
they
how
don't think
much
that they
money
can
do you want to give
financially
them?
take care. I mean,
How
for
much money
instance,
do you
if
want
we
to
look
give
at
them?
if we look at like the billions of dollars that the pro life community
How
spends
much
on
money
trying
do
to,
you want to give them?
Wait,
I
hold
would say
on. Let him
I would
respond.
say 4 billion. You crazy fucking bitch.
Be nice,
You want to give
guys.
each
Simmer
mom
down.
$4 billion
Hello,
to
does
have
anyone
to
like not
not
No,
kill
you
her
eat?
stupid
child?
bitch. Not each mom.
Hello,
Holy
hello.
shit.
Does
How
anyone
Why
much
do
like?
you
money do you want to
hold up?
give
Why do
each
you allow this
mother
man
who
to say these
threatens?
things?
Hold on,
Hello.
it's fine. I can handle it. Genesis,
Why do you
how much
allow it
money do you
though?
want to
Like
give a
this man
woman to
should not be
not?
allowed to say these
Hold on,
things.
I
Victor.
This
agree.
man
Victor, it's
claims to be a
fine.
Christian, but he's saying all that.
Victor,
It's
it's
disgusting.
fine, Victor. I've
Oh,
called
you
him
want to
a
cry more
piece of
about it,
shit too.
Victor?
All right, enough.
Genesis,
Yeah,
Enough.
it's
how much
disgusting.
Okay,
money?
keep crying,
How
Victor.
much
Just sit
money
there in your
should we
nice little
give
corner
women?
and keep
Yeah.
crying.
Okay.
How
Okay.
much money? How much money should we give
I don't know
women
how
to
much money.
not
Enough
unalive their
money.
child?
Yeah, I don't know how much money, but enough money where they feel like they don't need to. I
Okay,
would
so
say like
what
a
if?
good way
Okay,
to
let's say
start.
like a
I would say
hundred
like a
thousand
good.
dollars per child.
No, I would say like a better way to start is like more so making sure that we can cover the funds of like hospital bills after like they have their child or even during their pregnancies, making sure that we can like cover the
Yeah, that's
cost of
all
like
free. So you
the
don't have to go to the hospital if you don't want to.
not
Next,
necessarily not for every single
next
woman
question.
no.
Okay,
But also
okay,
like
Vic. Okay,
you wanted
is
me to answer your question, so
$100,000
let me
enough?
answer your
Do you want to give them
question. Lady,
$100,000?
chill. Let me answer your
Do you want
question.
to give them
Let me
$100,000
answer your
or
question because
more
there's going
or
to be
less?
multiple things in which we can afford,
How
which we
much
can.
money do you want to give
Do you want to
74% of
stop
women who
talking?
say, if
Holy
you
cow,
don't
you
pay me,
combative,
I'm gonna.
Out of
crazy fucking
pocket. All
bitch.
right. Out
If
of
you
Chill
don't
pocket.
pay,
out.
To be fair, out of pocket. To be fair, let him respond. To be fair.
I want an
Seriously, holy
answer. I want a
cow.
number. How much
Yeah,
Let
money?
him
just
respond.
because you want a fucking number doesn't mean you're gonna get a fucking number, you dumb bitch. Thank you. Anyways, you can do things like increase the paternity leave to like an entire year. It's that simple. Like
Okay,
there's
so a
multiple
hundred
ways in
thousand
which you can do
dollars. They
this.
don't have to work for a whole year. What else?
Maybe more access to contraceptives,
Oh wait, wait,
more
wait, wait, wait. Hold on, hold on. What's the
access to
point?
like diapers and
No,
formula.
I'm
Okay,
going
wait,
somewhere with this.
wait.
Mhm.
Genesis, what happens when you give a woman the opportunity to have a whole year off and she gets $100,000, but she still just wants an abortion? Then
Uh,
what?
yeah, I mean, this. I mean, so what? What then? What are you saying? I
Yeah,
mean,
what then?
I actually have
What then? I'm
historical.
asking you. This is your pragmatic stance. You haven't thought this through?
No, I mean, I can grant you that they might still get an abortion. I would say that's still going to be fucking wrong for them to do
Okay,
so.
okay.
And
This
So they can
if
still.
we
So
can
if
legally,
$100,000 is not
hold
enough,
on. If we could
and a
legally, if
year
we
off
could
of work
legally
is not enough,
hold on, lady. If we
and they
could
still want to
legally,
have an abortion, they can have it
lady,
or they
chill out
can't
so I
have it.
can
okay. Out
answer
of
your
pocket. Let him
question.
It's
I'm
a
respond.
about
yes
to
or
answer your
no.
question. If you would shut the fuck up for
All
one
right, let him
simple
respond. Let him respond. Let him
second.
respond.
Thank you. Holy fucking crazy bitch.
All right, let
Yeah,
him
so
respond.
yeah, we can still legally regulate those kinds of abortions if that's going to be the case. But what I'm saying is before we make it to be the case that abortions are going to be illegal, and before we give them a chance to drive it underground, we remove the we remove the temptation first. This is something that's going to be this is something that can be implicated just as swiftly and easily.
Cool. So I'm agreeing with you. We
Mhm.
give them 100,000. I would love $400,000 right out the bat. That's
Yep.
great. We give them a whole year off of work per child. So if they have twins, 2 years. I'm good with
Yep.
it. Sounds great.
Incentivized
Okay,
pregnancies.
sure. So we incentivize them. But now there's 30, what was it? 26% of women still want an abortion,
Well, I would say
right? That's
26
not good
is.
enough for them.
I would
So
say
what
26 is kind of strong
what
arming it a
about
bit.
them?
I
Can
don't
they
think.
have the
Yeah,
abortion?
I
Or
don't
are we
think.
going to criminalize them if
Hold on,
Let him
$100,000 is
lady,
not
chill
enough?
respond.
out.
Let him
But
respond.
I don't think that. I think
I wasn't done
26 is
asking my question,
overdoing
but
it.
okay,
Oh,
sure.
cry about it. I think 26 is overdoing it. I think it would be substantially far less because if we incentivize women for
Oh
having
my God.
having abortions, right? I wouldn't say that just because 76 of them did it because of financial means. I mean, as we demonstrated just alone by giving women the access to free contraceptives or more accessible contraceptives, this drastically decreased abortions in that way without even adding increased
Why are you
funding to
obfuscating
this.
so much? Why
Then
don't
I
you
would say
answer
that
the
it would
question?
probably be about more like
This
5
is
to
talking.
10% of
Protect.
women.
This is stupid.
And this is
I'm
being
trying to
generous.
ask him a
I
question.
understand.
I know, but
Wait, are you not actually understanding what
If
I'm
you're
saying? Because this is
saying,
answering your question.
if you've said that 74% of abortions
Mm-hmm.
are now covered by this 100,000, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Assuming that the other 26, give or take, right? Let's just say it's 20. Let's say 6 are for medical reasons or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
20% of women are telling you, and this is a hypothetical, $100,000 is not enough, and a year off of work is not enough. I still want an abortion. Are we going to give them the abortion
Do you
or
think
not?
that's the only
Legally
temptation?
speaking.
Do you think finances
Oh my
is it?
God.
This is a
No,
clarifying
because
question.
these are the women who are not
Wait,
getting it because of
what
their
was the question I
finances.
was going
That's
to ask
why
you?
I'm asking you
Hey,
that.
lady, what was the question I was going to ask you?
The reason why I'm giving you women who are not influenced by the financial gain of it or the time off of work is
Yeah,
because
but this
there's a
isn't
whole
just about
subset of them
finances. This
who
is also
aren't
talking
getting
about
them.
accessibility as well.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so
Can
like
you just stay
temptations.
linear for 2 questions?
Well, I mean, do you
Please.
want to know what I mean by temptations? Because temptations would be like finances and accessibility.
Accessibility to what?
Contraceptives, dumb fuck.
Okay, so they can have
Out
as
of
many
pocket.
condoms as they want.
Okay, wait, wait
74%
a
are
minute.
cool with
Mm-hmm.
this.
Wait a minute. Wait.
What
This is
about the
not.
Thank
other
you for the
percentages
roses.
that are not concerned about the money and they're not concerned about time off of work
What
and
about
they're not concerned
isms?
about
What
condoms?
about isms? Yeah, so I mean,
Can they, in
mm-hmm,
your pragmatic world, Genesis, can they
mm-hmm.
get an abortion or not?
I would prefer them not to, but sure.
Wait. Okay.
Oh my God.
Okay, wait
Oh
a
my
minute. So
god.
wait.
Oh my god, the world's fucking ending. Oh my
No, you're just a
god.
fucking idiot.
Wait,
Oh
okay,
yeah.
wait
Why
a
is it
minute.
that I'm an idiot?
Finally, I can talk. I had to listen to that.
Mm-hmm.
So, the point you were talking about contraceptives, like, how much more accessible do you want it to be? Can't you get like a pack of condoms from a gas station for like, I don't know, $10? Like, how much more do you
Well,
want?
I mean, those are very cheap condoms. I mean, if you want to go that route, then I don't necessarily how this would be helpful. But I would say like more medical
Well, hold
like grade
on.
condoms, like actually strong
Hold on. They're
condoms, which aren't going to
free.
break.
They're free at
Mm-hmm.
pregnancy resource centers, by the way.
Sure. I mean, I think that's fine.
And
It
another
doesn't
thing.
matter, you guys. He's saying if they say that's not enough money and that's not enough time off of work, and I have all the condoms I could ever use, but I used them to decorate my fucking Christmas tree instead, I
Mm-hmm.
still want an abortion. Genesis is pro choice, and Genesis thinks all women should be allowed to have an abortion. Period.
I don't
Because
think that
all
they
she has
should
to
have
say,
abortions.
all she has to do is say,
Yep.
I want $101,000.
I would prefer
And now
them.
she doesn't qualify.
I would prefer for them not to have
No, you wouldn't.
abortions.
You don't care.
Sure.
I don't know what you think you're
I
talking
do.
about.
Well, that's
No, you don't.
interesting.
Well,
Well,
hold
that's just
on.
a straw man at that
You
point.
do not.
Wait, hold on,
You're
Genesis.
full of
Wait a minute.
shit. You're just wish you did.
Okay,
No,
hold
come on.
on.
I mean, to
Genesis.
be fair, like that is a pretty clear-cut straw man, but
To be fair,
but like
Genesis, right?
Fallacious final boss.
I mean, it does. I mean, these things. I mean, in public schools, these things are handed
Mhm.
out. Condoms, they are handed out.
Yeah.
So like,
I don't know why it's not incompatible with like an incremental view to just satisfy all of what you're saying now and then
That guy's a
reallocate
moron.
resources to ban abortions.
Yeah, I mean, like Chile tried this, I believe, in what was it? It was like 1960s, I believe. I'll have to look back on my notes. I just moved, so all my papers are
Yo,
in
Genesis,
a
are you
box.
done LARPing or what are we doing?
Base, chill out, dude. I just exposed you.
You just exposed me. How
Yeah.
so?
For what?
All
Go ahead.
right.
Yeah, how so, buddy?
Getting out of hand. All right.
Yeah.
So,
Anyways, so like back in Chile in like
I would like to
1960s,
hear.
I believe they
I
tried
would
to
like to hear
implicate
from
this.
Base.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Chess,
Yeah.
can we hear from
So
from
Genesis
Base,
can't
please?
LARP?
Holy
Yeah, thank you.
cow.
Can we hear
Yeah,
some
no,
bass, guys?
appreciate that. Appreciate
So
that.
No.
Yeah, great.
Okay, enough.
Yeah, so Genesis is claiming to be part of the true church.
All right. Enough. All right. I want to address Genesis's stance. If you guys want to talk about that, it's not the live for it now. We're talking about his pragmatic stance. This is getting out of hand. So let's just talk about that. This is getting out of hand.
Wait,
This
it is a LARP though, right? To be fair.
I think he actually believes this. This
There's
is
no way. He
yes.
can't be Christian and believe this.
All
There's
right,
no
but this
way.
is his pragmatic stance. I
Yep.
wanted
It's not even a pragmatic stance.
It is a pragmatic stance.
His pragmatic stance is women should be able to have abortions. Period.
Wait, but
My stance no. My stance is that we should protect liberty. I'm not saying that we should punish.
Yeah, let's
I'm not saying
protect
that
all
we shouldn't.
liberties. Men should
No,
be able
what
to beat their wives, and
lady, chill out. Let me at
parents should
least
be able to
rebuttal so you're
neglect
not
Genesis,
and
you're a
abuse their
LARPer. You've been found
children,
strawmanning
out,
my
bro. You've been
and
found
position.
women
out.
should be able
You've
to
been
kill their
found out,
children
buddy.
in the
Holy
womb,
fucking
and we should
strawman. You're so
encourage
bad faith.
teenagers to have
Right, I'm
sex.
just gonna. Okay, there's a few people I'm not gonna let up. We'll just leave it at that. We're just going to address his pragmatic stance, because he's obviously not pro-choice normatively, so we're not going to address that. We're just going to talk about how his pragmatic stance actually ends abortion, see if it does. So there's definitely a few people I'm not going to let up. There's definitely
Okay, so cool. So before I get interrupted again, let me finish what I was talking about in Chile. So in Chile's in like 1960s, they tried to simultaneously ban abortions while at the same time getting rid of the temptation of abortions. Well, the temptations helped lower the abortions some, but the banning still allowed it to like drive underground and implicates the abortions with like back alley abortions and black market abortions, co-angered abortions, stuff like that, because there wasn't enough finances and resources going around during that time to incentivize the pregnancy. Not only that, because abortions were banned, it left doctors in a particular position to like not give healthcare to women who are miscarriaging until they became septic, which increased the mortality rate within these within this
Hey guys,
within
KB's
Chile.
here.
So
Hey, Hodge.
okay, but this. I mean, I'm not saying you're saying this is the case, but the thing you're talking about, like about the sepsis thing. I mean, our country allows that, to give healthcare that's occurring. But like you're saying, there was like a lack of finances. Well, if Chile did have the same finances as America, I mean, that would have worked. Would you not agree?
that wouldn't work.
No, that would have worked.
I mean, sure, but you'd still have the problem with doctors refusing to treat individuals because they don't want to be charged for like murder.
They would have the laws in front of them to. I don't see what's so difficult.
How would you be able to treat a woman who had a miscarriage compared to a woman who had a miscarriage by taking an abortion pill?
They wouldn't assume that they had an abortion. That's the thing. They would still treat them.
Okay, so how would we be able to regulate women who have abortions with an abortion pill?
What do you mean?
Like, how would we be able to charge a woman for murder if she took an abortion pill? If both those things are going to be physically identical?
So I have something very important to say to like the context of all this. It's kind of
hold on. Well, they would have. Well, obviously, can you restate your question?
Yeah.
Your mods wants to hear from Base.
Okay, hold on.
You want to cry more about it? I mean, Base is just going to complain about my
all right, we're in the middle.
Not
attendance
complaining,
in
it's
church.
like lying and
We're
like
in the
actively
middle.
LARPing about being in church.
Okay.
and
Again, this is not the lie for it. We're in
bearing
the
false witness on a priest and like doing a bunch of
Okay, that's enough.
So we can't have
Texting a
things in which we
17-year-old
disagree with the
base.
church.
Yeah, David, it's been disproven blatantly as AI
you're
and a
right.
lie. Like literally, Hyas has already talked to you.
Wait.
Bearing false
Let
witness, bro.
Protect, hold on. Let Protect and Genesis finish, and then Protect, can we hear from Base, please?
Yes, we're in the middle of a conversation, but can you restate your question? Sorry for that.
Yeah. So so how is it going to be the case that we could legally regulate abortions or ban abortions if there's not going to be any physical differences between an abortion pill and a miscarriage?
Well, you can. They would have to check an autopsy to cause the miscarriage was induced. If it was induced,
nope. They're like, even if you check the autopsy, they're going to be physically identical
for a miscarriage, right?
For a miscarriage and taking an abortion pill. Same thing for like if a woman accidentally ate shrimp or something that caused her pregnancy to like end abruptly compared to like an abortion pill. You'd still find the same substances within that, which
Well, the
caused the
thing is,
miscarriage and this.
wait a minute, if these pills were like prescribed by a doctor at the hospital, the only way to access them would be from the hospital. That's how you
Well,
be able
then
to.
that would invade HIPAA. But even if it was the case that you can get them from the hospital, you could also get them from underground as well, from a black
Right.
market source or something like that, in which women are still going to get these abortions. At least my argument takes it to be the case that we remove the temptation or the reason why women get abortions, and therefore a lot less abortions would not happen. I'm not saying that we're going to end abortions entirely. In fact, I think that any stance that we hold pro-life or this pragmatic pro-choice stance, that it will never be the case that we all end abortion. It's just going to be which one's more effective at making abortion obsolete. I find that this method's going to be more effective.
Like I said before, I talked to you about this before. Like
Mhm.
in countries, you can even say countries with what's it called? Like socialized healthcare, right? They like the UK, they still have a lot of abortions. So like you can give both of these conditions, and there would still be a lot of abortions because people they don't want to. They just a lot of people don't want to go through a pregnancy. They just not the right time. So even if they did have these resources, they still would go for the abortion.
They still. So you're saying that you take it to be the case that women just don't want to be pregnant, and therefore they just unalive the child, and that's what
Obviously,
they
I would
that's
say
just
it's
what they
more
do.
I
When
would
like
say it's
when we obviously understand that there's going to be other implications, like for instance, they might not be that informed about what an abortion is. That's why I think like sexual education is going to be something which would help decrease abortions if
we
we can
have this.
actually if we can push like the social stigma on which this thing is not just a clump of cells, but is in fact a living, breathable fetus and something that is more deserving of moral consideration. Then I would say that this would drastically change the narrative itself, and
Yeah,
that would remove the temptation.
yeah, that's the whole point. But then people won't care. Okay, it's a person. Okay, I'll still kill it. Like
You
people.
think that the normal person, the majority of people, will just willy nilly unalive another person because it causes them some kind of nuance or some kind of annoyance?
Yeah, probably. I mean, if a person is going through
I think that you'd have to be some kind of like deranged.
wait, hold on. If you think
Chronic
right,
as fuck,
okay,
Genesis.
okay,
Holy.
so like if you want to benefit from something and something is legal, if it's legally possible, permitted to unalive someone for your own benefit, yeah, people would do that.
Okay. That wasn't the question, right? So obviously I can acknowledge that people can do this action and people do this action. My question was, do you think that the majority of people would do this action? Do you think the healthy like the average healthy person would take who would look at another human being just as they are and say, "You're annoying me. I'm going to unalive you so you no longer annoy me"?
Yeah, if it was legally sanctioned, protected by law, yes. Yes, they would.
See, I think, well, even then, even if I grant that, if it was legally sanctioned and protected by law, even if I grant that, I can just make an argument that the reason why that it is not that case is because there's going to be some shame behind this action that presented, which I can just say that we could still implicate this shame while allowing abortions to be legal.
Yeah, but
And I'm not even just to clarify too. I'm not even saying that we should make all abortions illegal. I would still put restrictions on, like for instance, like after viability. I think that we should make abortions completely illegal.
all right, fair enough. But like the shame, okay, but like again, why would people care? I mean, I would say in America, abortion, while yeah, I would say it's polarized. I mean, it's celebrated in our country. So like,
Yeah, I mean, if we like more so incentivize pregnancies and women having children instead of like incentivizing the career that women ought to have, right? Quote unquote ought have, then I would say that this would drastically shift the implications within society that women hold to, that they ought to have more children and make this thing a good thing. Therefore, the women that don't want to have children are kind of like looked down upon, said, well, that's fucking weird. You're useless. I think that shame goes a long ways too. Not just like stepping on somebody's liberties just so we can police abortions. I don't think that's the right way to go about it.
Well, like again, I don't see how you can just have both of these at the same time, mutually exclusive. I mean,
Well,
okay,
unless you can tell me an actual good way that we could police these abortion pills without driving them underground, without scaring doctors into waiting until women become septic to give them treatment, then I mean. I'm still going to hold a stance. I'll agree with you at the moment that we can police all abortions without stomping on somebody's liberties or making a police state.
again, there's no law that says they can't treat these women with miscarriages. There's nothing in
if
the law.
if we made abortions illegal, right?
Yeah.
And this would be like the intentional unalivement of a human fetus, even if we use that definition, right? And a woman comes to them and said, "Hey, I have a miscarriage. Can you get this thing out of me? Like, it's I've been bleeding, blah blah blah, right?" Um, how is the doctor going to be able to prove himself innocent if he has here an unalived fetus in a bleeding woman?
Yeah, you do realize he would just have medical records or write this down. This woman has a miscarriage. Write this
Yeah,
down.
but murderers lie, right? Like murderers always lie. So how is the government supposed to trust these people in which they are thinking are the individuals killing these babies?
I mean, it is obviously a risk, but obviously, if it's legally if it's illegal, right? They would know that they could be criminally held liable by this.
So, like, let's say, like, for instance, we have, let's say, like, a 16-year-old lady or woman who gets pregnant, has a miscarriage, goes to the doctor, and the doctor treats her miscarriage, but her and the doctor then get jailed for getting an abortion. Are you willing to allow this risk of innocent women getting jailed just so we can police some abortions?
Wait a minute. Yes, and here's the reason why. Like, obviously, all laws, right? There's a possibility that innocent people could be jailed, but that's not a reason why we should not have the law in the first place.
Well, I see it. I look at it very different. I think that there is a reason for the government to maintain like a certain social order or enforce certain laws, and this is like to protect public peace. I don't think that it's necessarily endangering the public when the woman implicates something behind the scenes that is an abortion compared to somebody going to a 7-Eleven and pew-pewing another person in the head. I mean, I would fear that I'm going to be the next person that gets pew-pewed, but I don't think I'm going to fear if I'm going to be the next person that gets supported, albeit that abortion is completely wrong and I prefer women not get abortions. I think that there's obviously a matter of public discern here.
Yeah. But I don't think because I don't think, at least generally speaking, I don't think because the difficulty, and we agree normatively, but pragmatically, I don't think that because something is difficult to prosecute, we shouldn't make it illegal. There's a lot of things that are difficult.
I mean, yeah, I would agree. Yeah, I would agree with that. Like, just because it's difficult to prosecute, but what I'm saying is that if it is the case that by prosecuting women who get abortions also jeopardizes the liberty of innocent women who did not get abortions, or jeopardizes the liberty of innocent people entirely, or creates some kind of police surveillance state, then I would be completely against this. For it's going to be unconstitutional and it's going to be stomping on individuals' liberties, which they are deserving of having.
Oh, you'd be asserting it would be like stomping on their liberties and freedoms, and on.
Well, I mean, we can look at this historically, like with Russia, where they forced women to go to hospitals to prove that they are still pregnant, and to check.
Necessary.
I'm sorry.
Not necessary. That won't be necessary.
You don't think that? Well, this is going to be like a situation which like they banned abortions, and in order to prevent women from getting underground abortions, they forced women to go into hospitals to make sure that they were still pregnant. If the alternative was to like force every single woman to wear a tracker in them, in which tracks all their health, needs and stuff like that, I don't think that we should force women to do this either.
I don't think so either, but I also don't think it would be necessary either. I don't think it would be needed. Just like in a case like
Okay, so how do we police these abortion pills? How is it going to be the case that we police these abortion pills, but also stop abortions?
well, they should be illegal to order them unless it's prescribed to you by a doctor. Like you actually go
Have you
to.
have you? I don't think that maybe you haven't bought shrugs off the street before, but I'll tell you this: years ago, I've definitely participated in my shrugs,
No way.
and bought
Really?
that shit. Bought that shit off pretty
Tell.
easily. Thank you. And I don't take it to be the case that just because something is going to be illegal doesn't mean that it doesn't. It's not just as easy to obtain said thing, right?
Yeah,
It's
I know,
pretty easy to
but
still obtain drugs. In fact,
I
it's
know,
easier
but
for me to attain them legally than go to the doctors and get them.
I mean, I know, but like, I guess one anecdotal experience, like, I don't see how that would be the case for all scenarios.
You're right. You're right. Aside from my anecdotals, I think it's still fair to say it's completely easier to obtain shrugs on the street than it is to go to the doctors.
Wait, should we make meth legal then?
BRB, and don't say that word, please. BRB.
No,
Sorry.
because again, this would just come back to it being the case that that shrugs are going to be a problem of public disorder or concern.
Okay. Wait, could we hear from Highest? I don't know where Based went, but I think Highest wanted to say something.
Yeah, I'm here to represent base in the true sense. Big KPT here. Anyways, host Genesis is a fraud. He claims to be a part of the true church, even though he's not. He's an idiot, and he's a
When did I
shitty
make
ass
this claim?
debater in the true sense.
I mean, I
Oh,
remember.
yeah,
I
multiple
always
times,
remembered.
buddy, you've made it known. Oh, I'll let Base take it from here.
I always remembered that I made the claim that I'm going to catechesis, but that
Yeah,
doesn't mean that.
Genesis, you made the claim. Hold on, hush, hush, hush. Daddy's here. Genesis, mute up like a good boy. Thank you.
Me and Base are
Why
two
am I
fathers.
getting muted
Wait,
again?
I'm back.
Yeah,
I'm
so I'm
back.
here to stand up for the one true Orthodox Church in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. I spoke to multiple priests, and Genesis' original claim, mind you, is that he had a blessing from a priest to speak on a pro-choice position. I and any other real Orthodox Genesis, I have it on. It's clipped. It's clipped. You said verbatim that you had a blessing from a priest.
No,
You said
no.
verbatim you had a
You're
blessing
just
from a priest to speak on
dominating
this.
it. I had a blessing on a priest to talk about the apostolic faith.
I had to
but
remove
not
someone because I
abortion.
got a restriction.
No, you said multiple times
Not from the pro-choice.
verbatim.
No,
It was for the debate.
I asked my church father if it was okay to hold a pro-choice
You
position.
asked your
if
church
I'm
father?
still
What does that
affirming
even mean? Your priest?
my spiritual father, if I'm still affirming that abortion is a moral sin, and
That would
I
be
prefer
called
women
that would be
not
called
to.
that would be called a
Buddy
priest.
said he asked his church father.
Now, here's the thing.
This guy's a LARPer, bro. Holy shit.
Yeah,
I'm
Genesis.
completely
You
alarmed.
asked
You're
your
right.
church
hold to
father?
Vatican
everybody's
1, 2,
talking
3,
at
or
the same
4.
time.
Are we going
Yeah,
to get
Genesis,
back to the
please
conversation?
mute.
Yeah, host,
Or
can you
put a
keep
muzzle on
Genesis?
him.
Can you put a muzzle on Genesis,
Yeah,
please?
put a
He's
muzzle
talking
on
Can
for a
they let
second.
their
So
hold on? Can they let their words get out before Genesis starts yapping?
I just want to
wait
say
a
my
minute,
piece
wait a
if
minute,
I
guys.
can.
Wait, hold on, hold
I
on.
just take it to be the case, prima
I
facie.
mean, guys, I would like to have this conversation, but another time. But the prompt is currently, kind of in the middle of a conversation.
Well, dude, but I
you
mean,
guys
your
kind of should
mod
finish that though. So if I could ask Genesis a quick
Mermaid
question, that'd be great.
specifically. Hold on, Elijah. Mermaid specifically. Why am I saying like that? Mermaid. Holy shit. Mermaid specifically wanted to hear my perspective on this Genesis thing, right? Genesis is purposely trying to talk me over. It's a Jewish mind control tactic because he's actually Jewish. He's not Orthodox Christian.
Okay. We don't need to.
So if you could keep him muted,
can you
like a good dog
substantiate
he
that
is,
claim?
For you, hold on. Yep, muzzle on him.
Can you substantiate that
yeah,
claim?
Genesis, do the Orthodox Christians hold to Vatican 1, 2, 3, or 4? Go ahead.
I'm not speaking on orthodoxy.
Yeah, just answer the question.
Oh my
No,
god.
I'm not speaking on orthodoxy anymore.
Oh, yeah, just from your own like subjective.
Wait, did you not see my story, dude? I'm not speaking on anything that resembles the church.
Because you've never even been inside of an Orthodox parish.
That's not
once in your
true.
entire life.
Okay,
Bro, you got found
enough.
out. You got found out.
St.
Host,
George
host.
Orthodox Church, Kearney, Nebraska. I just doxed myself.
Okay,
There you go.
Yeah, I
enough.
bet. Yeah, I
Alright,
bet. Yeah, so if I
enough.
call your
Alright.
priest, he's gonna know
Google
you
it.
exist,
Yeah,
right?
call my priest.
Yeah, I'll
ask
call
him
your
about
priest,
Jason
yeah.
Bennett. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah,
dude.
call the priest.
Okay. This is the last time. If this happens again, I'm just gonna end for tonight. Like, this is getting very irritating. We're trying to have a conversation here, and like 55 people are talking at once.
This is getting very irritating.
Can we get back to like the actual conversation?
Yeah, host. I mean, I just kind of need like the time to speak, but this guy's gonna keep over talking me, right? Because he doesn't want the truth.
Well,
to
you're
come
not
out.
talking about
I would
shit,
think.
dude.
Wait a minute. I would think some of us have self control and talk one at a time. But I have to put timers. Then I'll have to put countdowns.
It's gonna give me like a 3-minute timer. I can just kind of show what's up. In
I
the
mean,
true sense.
I would. If you guys want to change the prompt, by all means. But
No, I would very much
No,
like
that's
to
not
stay
what
on
I'm trying to
topic.
do. I just want to stand up and say this guy is a
I already
LARPer. He's
stated
not
numerous
representing the
times. I
Orthodox Church.
posted on my page. I'm not talking from the Orthodox
Fair
Church
enough.
or perspective of the church anymore,
Fair
and I'm
enough.
only having secular arguments. So.
Fair enough. Fair enough. We'll just.
Good. About time you were like honest about
All
it.
right.
Holy
All right. Fair
shit.
enough. All right. Fair enough. We'll just get back to the
Yeah,
conversation.
Genesis, I just want you to know, bro. Like we're in person.
Yeah,
like,
Base.
I would
Why don't you
slap
go
you like
suck a
Arius
fucking
got
dick?
slapped.
You
Okay,
fucking
I would
okay,
slap you like Arius
Oh,
got
you said the F
slapped.
slur.
Arius.
You said the F slur.
Yo,
I will.
Base,
I
can
will
you prove
slap
the
you
video,
like
bro?
Arius got slapped.
You're
fucking
Can you prove the
Yo,
man.
video?
Genesis, I would beat the
Sound
fuck
like
out
a
of you.
No, you're
faggot.
completely
Genesis.
wrong.
Okay, that's. We're just gonna end for tonight. I told you. I warned you what would happen. We're gonna end for tonight.